around the world uniting. Qschqql, bringing the sauce through studying the daily Q codes, Q drops, deltas, Q proofs. Where we go on, we go all. Q patriots and friends, we are bring down the cabal. I'm singing proud Q worldwide. Where we go on, we go all. Niggas like code cracks up at Qschqql. Bring the daily rap fire news, Q sauce. News unlocks the map. But with Qschqql patriots, trust the chief plan. Qschqql worldwide, Qschqql patriots. Remember, we go on, we go all.
We're back, part 2, take 2. We're gonna do our second show today. We're going on the radio. But we got our mugs up here on our live stream like we normally do. So we're gonna try to feed this in. We gotta try to work out the logistics. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna be playing this radio station. They start at top of the hour here, so it should be any minute. And then about 15 minutes after that, they'll go to commercial break, and we'll join them. And we're gonna try to keep streaming into the platform here with the radio show. We'll see how it works.
Yeah. And send out the invite links, everybody. Click the like button, share buttons, all the other buttons. And we're excited. A little bit nervous too, but I mean, hey, there's only 40,000 people on the radio station, plus all of you and everybody else that you share this to. So this is going to be a big night for Qschqql. I'm just saying, Q's going to be spread around the world tonight in its own ways.
Maybe take that number off their mail till later so that we can get in there at least. And then the questions. But so anyways, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see how this is going to go. We're going to try to, again, I don't even know. So I guess, should I see if they're on right now? Is it time?
Look for the title to change. There it is. Yep, we went live. Okay.
Federal workers should receive back pay after the...
Okay, they're doing their ads for a second, so I'll mute them just for a second. Y'all want to add anything while we're doing our thing?
I'm just excited. I'm happy that you're all here with us too. Again, send the invite links out. I just bombarded it on Telegram channels so they know that we're going live. I don't know if they're going live on Rumble. We're going live on Rumble. But they know we're going live on the radio. So it'd be neat to know if we can get them to come in here too. So I don't know if you guys had the notifications clicked on. You'd know that we're live here on Rumble. And we're live on where else are we live, Kyle? Where'd you go?
Mel's YouTube. We're on X, Facebook, Rumble, and your Telegram.
Yes, Qschqql. Let's go. I'm excited.
Yes.
So the name of the radio station is KSCO. The name of the program is Nighthawk Resurrected. And they're going to learn a little bit about Q tonight. And they're curious. They want to know. People want to know. What do they want to know, Kyle?
They want to know the truth ultimately, but they want to know about Q.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Supreme Court justices today seemed likely to side with a Christian counselor challenging bans on LGBT conversion therapy for kids as a violation of her First Amendment rights. Kaylee Childs argues the laws wrongly bar her from offering voluntary, faith-based therapy for kids. California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a law aimed at combating anti-Semitism in schools. Jewish leaders say it will help respond to alarming harassment against students. Stocks took a step back today. The Dow...
Okay, still doing a few more commercials there on the end before it's Ginni and Kelly powers the Nighthawk Resurrected every Tuesday and Thursday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time.
No, 9 to 11.
9 to 11. My bad. 9 to 11. I was already getting
maybe it's 7 to 9 your time.
No, mine's even earlier, but it's okay. I got mixed up for a second there.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys. I've listened to a few of their shows. They got some great great people come like us, just regular people that do their research. They talk about UFOs. They talk about Sasquatch. They talk about political stuff, geopolitical stuff. What were you saying, Melzie?
I was just going to say that people are kind of wondering where to find us. So when you're done, we'll just show people where to go look and listen for the show. That's all.
Thank you, Mel.
And they're getting Pagan Threat to see Charlie Kirk's final words. Go today to paganthreat.com.
But yes, what Tim was saying, it's like, oh my gosh, like people like us, we're going to so fit in. And I'm so excited to be on this show because they're, real people are really going to be listening to this and have interest in it. It's not just like, oh, they're going to ridicule us and, oh my gosh, I can't believe they had him on. I think that people are going to have questions about who Q is and, they all think it's QAnon because that's kind of what the media prepped them with.
Well, we have an answer for that one too. That's okay. We have an answer for pretty much everything, don't we, guys?
We do. And so, and like what we had talked about before is what Q means to us is really like unity and what this movement has brought. And I think that that's what we're really excited most of all about sharing with them is that piece of it. So, because there's so much to it, right? Like there's 5,000 Q drops. How can you say Q is this? And yet I'm so grateful for it. It changed my life and it brought me to all of you. And here we are together and we get to celebrate this with everyone. So if you guys have questions, let's look and see. You can either go here to Qsco and not QO. Yes, I can't speak.
Thrombectomy. Sanders said it will.
They're still in the news. They're still breaking down the news. They usually do about 7-8 minutes of news, and then they go live. Ginni and Kelly. Ginni and Kelly. Ginni and Kelly. You got to say Ginni 17 times.
Okay,
just so 17 times. Ginni, 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 Ginni. Matthew's laughing. You got the Q. You got the Intel board up on the screen too in the background, Kyle.
Oh, you know what? See, that's the problem. We're not gonna be able to play.
But
when I go to my phone, it won't matter about a separate tab though. You won't be able to hear them once I go to a different tab.
No, but if you want to read some of those Q drops tonight during the show, make sure you got them up on your screen, right? Even though we're on the phone.
Right. I'll have to. Yeah.
You know those favorite ones you like, the ones about nameless, faceless.
Yeah.
We got to do those. You got to do your power drops, bro.
Yeah.
For the mind, it's the best in overnight talk radio. And remember to lock the door too when Coast to Coast AM is on. Coast to Coast AM.
Satisfy your hunger right now with a delicious ramen and sushi you'll.
Okay.
Oh, another commercial. That's the other thing about radio. AM radio is just locked and loaded with commercials. And you know what? If anybody out there wants to help sponsor them, they have a sponsor thing. You can go to their website. And if you maybe have a small business out there in the California area, this is Santa Cruz, California, where they're from. Definitely throw them a few bones, and help them out. They're putting on some good shows.
Bones. I'm gonna go check on Dozer real quick and bring him in before we.
Yeah. We got to get Dozer on the show for sure. Get Dozer.
Dozer's got to make an appearance here.
Yeah. So just to break. Oh, I think he's going live. Yeah, they're going live at quarter after.
Welcome, digital soldiers and fellow patriots, to the Nighthawk Resurrected, where we decode the Q drops, shatter the deep state matrix, and rally for the Great Awakening. I am your host, Kelly Powers, alongside my favorite, most fabulous co-host ever. Hi, Ginni.
Hi, Kelly. That was quite an entrance.
Right? We're exposing hidden intel and red-pilling the masses every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. live right here on KSCO Santa Cruz, 1080 AM, 104.1 FM, and AM 1340 KOMY, where Q proofs, the storm rumbles, and the truth takes flight. Tonight, we storm the gates of corruption with the Qschqql Power Trio. We have Tim 17, a visionary host of decoding Q intel like a master map maker. Kyle, Alaska's undercover white hat, linking biblical ties to Spygate and global scams.
Almost wore the white hat.
We have Melzie, New Mexico's powerhouse producer, crafting seamless theater for patriots worldwide. Since February 2021, their show is on Monday through Friday, 2:17 p.m. Eastern Time. The show's on Rumble, Telegram, X, and a lot more. They paint a clear picture of election fraud, election heists, and the cabal's plots, arming you to unite, hold the line, and master the QAlert.pub. They're here to drop bombs and share proofs and fire up your role in America's survival. Join the front lines and Rumble. Look up their shows, guys. It's Hammer Time, Rapid Fire, Q News. And you can find them on Telegram as well. Qschqql. And the school is with 2 Q's in the middle.
Kyle, what'd you do? We lost it. We lost the audio.
Oh, see, I did that.
And Melzie right here on the Nighthawk Resurrected. We'll be right
now, yeah?
back.
You are listening to the Nighthawk on Ksco Santa Cruz. The earth has.
I was trying to show the hammer time here, which will cut the music. Oh, we're all jamming. Let's leave that music on.
We are your hosts, Ginni and Kelly. Sit back, relax, and don't touch that dial.
Santa Cruz sounds nice right about now.
Welcome, Nighthawk.
Jedi knickknacks down yonder.
Good evening and welcome to the Nighthawk Resurrected. This is Ginni and I'm here with my stellar, amazing co-host, Kelly Powers. Welcome, Kelly.
Thanks, Ginni. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Feels like we haven't been here for a while.
Well, we weren't here on Thursday. We've been kind of dropping the ball a little bit.
No, you had a loss in the family.
I know, but, we did shows religiously every Tuesday and Thursday for like 2 years. I don't even think we missed one show ever. And then for some reason we've had some stuff come up. Yes, my grandmother passed away, and
sorry to hear that.
My
condolences go out to you.
Thank you. God bless Grandma Charlie Mace. She died at 93 years old, and she came from
Arkansas.
Yeah, Hot Springs, Arkansas. She rode alongside Annie Oakley for a little while. She married my grandfather, and he was from Idaho. And they moved here, and they had 3 kids, and my mom and my other aunt, and they had a great life. And she had a wonderful life, so she's with God.
Nice.
Yeah, she died quick, which is always what you hope for. Nobody wants a long, drawn out mess. She went in, got up at night, and was gone. So God bless Grandma Charlie.
Yeah, God bless.
Anyways, so what's new with you, Ginni?
Well, I was kind of very excited about the Q show.
Okay, so we have been trying to get there. I don't know if the listeners are familiar. This is going to be like a new topic for the Nighthawk, because we get into UFOs, we get into Bigfoot, we get into interdimensional beings, we get into
quantum physics,
anything that is not in your like normal news cycle. So I have followed a lot of the QAnon. So just for the listeners, there's Q, that's the people behind these drops that started on 4chan, and they put out these kind of encrypted messages about stuff that's supposedly happening behind the scenes in the government.
Right.
And then there's the Anons that are the digital soldiers. They're putting out all of the info. They're decoding. Exactly. So, had an opportunity to have these 3 on, and they're going to really kind of explain what is going on. It is going to be a highly political show, just so you guys know. We will get into politics on the Nighthawk. I have no problem with that, because I'm tired of the overlords, and I think a lot of people are. So they're going to be able to explain what the heck is Q, what is QAnon, who are Anons, what's a digital soldier, how do you follow these, how do you even read the Q drops, who is doing the Q drops. I mean, there's so much. It almost reads like a really interesting
spy novel.
Yes, and it's very easy to get. It's like a puzzle, right? And you're constantly decoding and figuring out what this means and linking it to that. And so we're very honored to have Tim, Kyle, and Melzie on. So they're going to be coming. It's the first time on the Nighthawk we've had 3 guests.
3 guests at one time.
At the same time.
We'll see how that goes.
So besides all of that, we have some great shows coming up, here in the month of October. And we hope you guys...
October extravaganza?
Yeah.
Is that what you got going?
Well, yeah, it's a little different than it was last year, but we're very excited to have all of our different people coming. Bishop Larry Gators is coming. He's going to talk about all kinds of crazy... I mean, very kind of close to this show.
Well, you know, I've been watching on Netflix the Ed Gein.
Oh, God.
And we had...
Just so nasty.
It's just so warped.
I like all the spooky stuff.
Right.
I kind of had a hard time with that one. You know, I really like Charlie Hunnam. And he is so... I mean, he did a great job. I've only watched one episode.
He's done a great job at Ed Gein.
Dude.
And we talked about that on our show.
I know.
And it's weird because Ed Gein is like behind Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
All of them.
And...
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs and Psycho and all of them. It's kind of all been meshed together.
Yeah, all written loosely off of him and the horrific stuff he did.
Yeah, all the crazy things.
He was off, man.
He was like...
And his mom was off. The whole... you know, it's just... If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's a new... I mean, I know there's a lot of canceled Netflix out there, but... it's a new Netflix series, and
it's interesting. It's
I mean, be ready to be weirded out because there's some weird scenes.
He's like
he put it all out there.
Yes, he did.
Right.
It's a little warped. Well, let's take our commercial breaks, and we'll be back after these messages.
We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Manuel Rodriguez from Central Coast.
All right, so I'm going to call Mel. I'm going to call into the line, so I got to mute myself here. I guess I don't know what we can play for you guys, some music or something. I don't know what we're going to do. Tim, you're going to go over to Opal. We're going to try to log in on this, and then I think we're going to try to maybe play it through my phone with the audio. We're going to have to see how this goes. Wish us luck.
Wish us luck, yeah. Just hang in there, Patriots. I got to sign in online here. Let's see if we get it. Hello from somebody at their end. Test 1 2 test. Thanks for being with us, you guys. Appreciate you all.
Are you with us now?
I am. Nice to see you, brother. Good to see you. Love, love, love. I'm doing good. Thank you. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Good, good. The other two are dialing. Actually, Kyle's dialing in, and he's going to call.
Hey, Tim, we can actually hear pretty good from your end. I don't know if they could hear us through your thing. Well, he has the iPad.
Let me ask. Okay, let me ask Greg. Greg, can you hear us? We're live on our Rumble channel. We're beaming it out to all the digital platforms right now, brother. Can you hear us loud and clear?
We can hear you. It's all on the show, Ginni. So.
Yes, I know Ginni. Yeah. In the background, I'll call you Greg. I met you as Greg, so love, 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 brother.
Yes. But who?
Okay, so Tim, did they said they could hear us okay? Because otherwise we were going to tell them Mel and I were going to call in, but I'd rather it be on speakerphone.
Or do you want to go on Opal? We can hear you fine. It just sounds like a little far away.
Right. Okay. Yeah, one of us, we were thinking about just the other two of us here was thinking about doing a speaker call, like just add like a two-way call, and then we'd call into you guys. But okay. I know you said not to use speakerphone. You want to try that, see what it sounds like?
I hear you fine, just like that.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, maybe we'll go with this then, Kyle, if you're good with that.
Yeah, just turn up whatever we're coming through on your restream, Tim, all the way up. Turn it all the way up, and then that way they can hear us.
The only problem is, here's what I'd like you to do, Kyle. I'd like you to call in on your phone, because in case Matthew, I don't tuck him in for another hour. So if he starts, if I'm the only one with open mic, you're going to get some Matthew Q. That's my son. I have an autistic son, Ginni. So yeah, so I'm probably going to try and get him to say hi somewhere along the show before I tuck him in tonight during our show. But yeah, God bless you. You and Kelly, thank you so much.
Let me call them real quick and then see what it sounds like. And then I don't know where Mel went, so I was going to three-way with her.
Okay.
We got 3 minutes left.
3 minutes. Okay.
Be right there.
He's dialing in now.
Okay.
I'm calling Mel, and then I'm going to call right after that.
Matthew, do you want to say hi to Ginni? Say hello. Say hello. Hello. He's whispering hello. He's
hi.
25 years old, full-blown autistic, and he's been a part of Qschqql since day one, guys. Just saying. Beautiful.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, it's been a real journey, a real ride, real a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to spending time with you guys tonight too. We're really excited. We've got a lot of people on our channels watching and listening right now too, you guys. Just so you know.
Awesome.
Yeah. We're going to build you up the best we can, the best we know how to. The digital soldiers Anons know how to build up patriots around the world, and we're definitely going to be taking your show a lot, brother.
Awesome. So we're just about ready to get going.
Okay, Kyle's dialing in. Did you get his call in through yet?
I'm waiting for Kelly to get off the phone with Kyle.
Oh, okay.
Okay, stay tuned.
Right on.
So Tim, it's coming in really good here. I think I'll have my mic on, okay, and we'll listen this way. Yes.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we got 2 minutes.
2 minutes left.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Tim,
yes, sir.
A minute and a half.
Yep, I heard you. Yeah, thank you. Which one comes? Let's ask our gang here. Which one came through clearer, mine or Kyle's right now? Let's get some quick comments in the chat.
I think all of us are. There's a little bit of a feedback going.
Okay, is that on our end? It sounds good over here. That could be because I'm on the speakerphone.
We got you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm almost wondering if Tim, can you hear us okay? And then be able to, they might not hear Tim very well then. So we'll just.
No, I'm good. I got the mute button on my device. I'm good. I'm going to mute up here and I'll talk to them when they bring me on. You guys carry on. Go ahead, Kyle.
Okay. Well, what I was almost saying is we could hear you so well through our screen that you could almost just be off the Opal and be talking through here, but it's okay. We'll just go like this. As long as it's not reverbing bad on their end.
Oh, okay. I could do that too. Then I'll talk through here. I'll just disconnect.
Okay, do that, and I'll turn it up. Okay, perfect.
Okay, there we go. All right. Can you hear me, Ginni? Can you hear me, Kelly? Testing.
Yep.
Good.
No, hold on. That was Mel.
I mean, they are rowdy.
They're on the air right now, so.
Welcome to the Nighthawk Resurrected, guys. I'm Ginni, and I'm here with my fearless co-host, Kelly Powers.
He knows I hate it when he calls me fearless. I hate that so much. He does it to me on purpose. Welcome, everybody. So just for the listeners, want to let everybody know we have 1017 on the line. We have Kyle from Alaska, and we have Melzie. Melzie, you go ahead. Mel or Melzie? Melzie. Okay, we got Melzie from New Mexico. So Melzie's a producer, and we're going to let you guys, this is new for our audience, so you guys know. I do have the Fall of the Cabal Part 2. So Tim had sent me a little clip that he wanted to play that kind of was like a little brief. Well, it's 15 minutes, but we were going to play maybe the first 3 or 4 minutes of it to kind of give a little introduction of what the Q movement is. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, yes. That's perfect. Perfect. 4 minutes. 4 minutes is good, Kelly.
Put your phone down. We need to play this. So what was it, 4:10?
Play it right from the beginning to about 4:10, 4:10-ish. Yeah, 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Here we go. On October 28, 2017, a mysterious post was placed on 4chan, an anonymous internet bulletin board. It contained nothing but codes. This was the beginning of a new phenomenon. The Q posts, soon to be transferred to 8chan due to hacking, became more and more intriguing and popular among the so-called QAnons. Anonymous people who are weary of the lies of the mainstream media and who've gone searching for the truth using other news outlets on the internet. I will get into the identity of Q later on in this documentary. Q communicates with the people by means of the Q posts, drops or crumbs that we, the Anons, pick up and decipher. The Q prompts portray a better world, without wars, treason and corruption. A world after the Great Awakening. Q uses words and short sentences that keep coming back. The calm before the storm. Draining the swamp has the plan. These people are sick. Oh, I know the last part. Think weird. Use logic. Follow the white rabbit. They never thought she would lose. Though who knows can't sleep. Unite we few drops are short and to the point. Initials are used instead of full names. Sometimes they contain a lot of information. And sometimes combinations of letters and numbers are used for us to rearrange. The Qschqql was introduced, and it took us quite some time to figure out how to read it. And again, there was the Q map, containing an incredible amount of vital information. The map was made by Dylan Lewis Monroe. It contains an overview of the true history of mankind and its covert power structures. Q is not a cult, as suggested by opponents. After all, it tells us not what to think or what to do. It merely gives us questions, clues, and riddles. We need to do the research in order to find the answers. And that is how we discover the truth. Through this research, I've come to find out more about American and global politics than I'd ever dreamed of. I was never really interested in politics, but the Q drops opened my eyes to a whole new world, a world of secret societies, secret services within secret services, and secret deals made on a grand scale. A world with shadow governments, with an excessively rich 1% of the world population that actually runs the world. Not our political leaders, not our presidents, but a very small group that we refer to as the Illuminati or Cabal. I learned about an evil master plan to completely dominate the world. And the ordinary people like you and I, we know nothing. We get up in the morning, we go to work, we pay our bills and our taxes, we watch TV and go to bed, not knowing that there's a battle being fought over our heads for world dominance, a battle between good and evil. This is what Q is pointing out to us. But we, the Anons, have to do the research. And we do. Like nerds, like an army of digital autists, we connect the dots. There is a war going on for world dominance, for the absolute submission of the masses. How is this achieved? By the constant waging of war. By the introduction of the Federal Reserve Bank and central banks. By trafficking drugs, oil, and people. Okay, we went a little past it, but I want the listeners to know so there's the Follow the Cabal Part 1. There's the Follow the Cabal Part 2. So you can catch those on Rumble. Just type it in, and you can watch these entire documentaries. They're all over the internet. So, Tim, do you want to start? Please understand that you guys are talking to an audience that we get into all kinds of different topics, but we've never covered the Q topic. So why don't you take it away? Tell us what it is and how did this start for you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kelly, and thanks, Ginni, for having us on first and foremost, and thanks to your wonderful audience. I hope you enjoyed tonight's information. We're really excited about what we've been involved with. Myself personally, going on 5 years now, studying, researching with all the fellow patriots around the world, Anons, digital soldiers, truth warriors. There's different terminologies here, but the Q Information Board really opened my eyes and it made me a better father, a better person, made me become a spiritual warrior along with an information and a powerful warrior based on the knowledge and the information that I've gained. As you may or may not know, I'm from the 51st state. We call it the 51st state because that's what the boss says. There's going to be a day where Canada becomes 51st state. I believe everything that he says becomes truth, and it's in the Q drops. When has POTUS ever said something that never became true or fact? And we're heading that way. But anyway, I've learned more about American politics, just like Janet Osgard, that beautiful, rest in peace. God rest her soul. We lost her almost 2 years ago. She did that wonderful series called Fall of the Cabal. And that was one of the main reasons why I woke up initially back in 2020 during the plandemic. I call it the plandemic. But it was right around that time when I got to watch her videos. And also I stumbled across some anons that were decoding live Q drops. Back then they were popping off live. Like you'd be watching their show live on YouTube back in the days before they all got booted off YouTube, but there'd be a Q alert, and all of a sudden we would start doing live decodes, and I was really excited about it but at first I went through a lot of emotions, a lot of ups and downs, and I was angry because I realized that, hey man, I've been lied to my whole life, and I was really frustrated, but it helped me work through the process, and it helped me wake up and become a better person and a loving individual. I've gone through some dark paths in my lifetime. I do have a full-blown 25-year-old autistic boy called Matthew Q. He's been with Daddy since day one when I started Qschqql back in February 23rd of 2021. And he's, I think God has worked through him to get to me, and then me doing the research and meeting so many beautiful patriots and lovable, so many beautiful patriots around the world. It's endless. And I just want to add that video that you just played, that section where she's going tick, 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 and no, you could hear it, but you couldn't see it. So in that video, she basically says that some of we call them Q-isms. They're right from the Q drops. There's 4,966 Q drops since October 28th of 2017. The last one was posted on November 27th of 2022. And we just happened to be live on our Qschqql the night that Q started reposting again, which was really phenomenal. We were interviewing a fellow by the name of Johnny Q, one of our OG Anons out there. So Johnny Q from California, for listening, God love you, sir. Get in touch with us. We want to get you on Qschqql. But this is what some of the sayings were, and these are the Qs. It says, the calm before the storm, draining the swamp, trust the plan. These people are sick. This is not a game. Follow the map. Future proves past. They never thought she would lose. Those who know cannot sleep. United we stand, divided we fall. Think mirror, use logic. Where we go one, we go all, and God wins. And that was what was shown on that video clip that you played, Kelly. And I just want to throw that in there. But again, thank you so much from Matthew Q and myself for bringing us on tonight. I want to thank Sister Lightworker for making the connection with Ginni. And I met Ginni a couple of weeks ago on Telegram, of all places. Like, he was on the phone with her, and we just talked on one of our beautiful Telegram channels. I want to say hi to all our Telegram family and friends out there. All the channels are rocking and rolling tonight, having a good time in this movement. So God bless you, Kelly. Thank you. Hello, Kyle, are you there? Anybody there?
Yeah, right?
Yes. 4chan. Sorry, Tim. I had Tim muted. And then when he was talking, it sounded like a little reverb, but was that okay on your guys' end?
Yeah, we can hear you good. You're
Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, great. Those are all great questions.
Me? Kyle, you muted me as if
No, I had to mute the mic, so there was reverb like that. We always joke about muting each other, especially on our Telegram chats. So to answer that, it was originally on 4chan, which is basically a forum that was kind of the wild, wild west, where true free speech reigned. But more importantly, you could post anonymously on there. And that would become militarily strategic in many reasons. And it was quite obvious, too, if you've done the digs and research, that the NSA was actually on these boards for a long time. And there was even something called Cicada 3301, I think is the number, where it was basically this game, if you will, that was back in 2012, where they call them Anons. Even on the chans back then, they were Anons because they were posting anonymously. But anyways, it was a place where people with NSA and other backgrounds of that nature would even be recruited. It was a recruitment. The Cicada thing was a recruitment tool for the NSA and a precursor, in my opinion, to Q, the Q drops. And there's many reasons for why this would be the best place to do that. One, strategically, but also most importantly, operational security. They controlled the things, and then they knew all along. Some people say hacked, whatever. They knew all along that this was the plan originally. When you see how well this plan has actually been enacted, it went from 4chan then to 8chan, and that was, again, they knew ahead of time that was going to happen. They played along like there was hack and the security issues, and there certainly was, but it was all, they actually used it a way to trap the deep state, which would be your CIA, your Mossad, these intelligence agencies. And also, no one had ever seen anything like this. This was basically, nobody had ever tried this. This was basically igniting a movement with the civilians in tandem with the military by, again, Q just uses the Socratic method. Just simply ask questions, and that stimulates thought. And then by the way the drops were made, there was abbreviations, and sometimes it can be difficult to understand, but it's people to do their own research. And it created this movement. And then eventually it was when 8chan got shut down, they went on to 8kun. And 8kun, the IP address that runs 8kun, is a Department of Defense owned IP address.
Interesting. So how did it go? How did it take off so quickly? Because people can post things all over, and that doesn't necessarily mean all of a sudden you're going to have, millions of people following and decoding and joining this movement. Do you guys have an understanding of how it went from like zero to nuclear?
Yeah, and very organic. Mel, did you want to answer?
Yeah, because there were people that were looking at the Q posts that were on the 8chans and the 4chans, but when we got shut down for COVID, what we watched initially, Follow the Cabal, that was played, and millions of people saw it, and then they woke up. They saw that, because she talks about Q in here in a military operation. And there was another one too, Joe M, that was played that talked about it. So like I did, I actually lived in Venezuela in my early 20s. And, I'm kind of like you guys. I saw a UFO and I've heard Sasquatch. And, so I'm on that same boat. But when I was living in Venezuela, my best friend had married a Venezuelan son and an ambassador. And so I had access to the elite in a way that others, I just never knew really existed. And one night, one of them was at a party, and someone from the Illuminati told me about the Illuminati, the world cabal, and they explained to me how it worked. And so that kind of opened my eyes to that things were not right. And so I started wanting to know the truth. And so when COVID happened, everybody was kind of locked up, and they had questions, and they had this time to kind of research things. And just like me, I was hungry, and I knew that the truth was not coming from, what we call the fake news media. I just knew there was something more to the story. So I thought, well, I'm going to go start researching to figure out what's going on here. And then I watched Follow the Cabal, and I watched Joe M, and then I wanted to know what this thing was about Q. And so I started trying to search what it was. And at that time, Q was still doing active drops. So we would all Q would drop, and we would all go to see what it was. And, we really necessarily didn't know what it was, but we knew that there was a plan. Yeah. And that's how we kind of all started to wake up and gather. And like the guy said, they had started Qschqql on Telegram, because we all got kicked off of different platforms and ended up on Telegram together. And I wanted to understand what was going on, and these guys were studying every day, and we did it kind of a group setting. And that was very appealing, because everybody kind of brought in their research together.
So there, just to kind of put it in layman's terms, so there's like the white hats, right, which are the people fighting against the cabal. What does the cabal want, and what are they doing? What is Q and the white hats trying to prevent?
Ooh, I love your questions too. When we listened to the shows the other times, we just loved them. And Tim was even saying they're already saying Q-isms, and like Mel said, Mel and I are totally into all the same topics.
Just a little history. Ginni and I followed Q during 17, 18, 19, 20. I got completely disgusted in 20 when I saw Biden up on the stage in this kind of fake inauguration or whatever it was. I I have to admit, like, I got just disgusted and turned off a lot of media. So I followed live Q drops when they were, I mean, it was a very exciting time. So I know a little bit of the background. Not like you guys, but I know a little bit.
Yeah, and to piggyback back on that original question of how did it grow so fast? Mel was mentioning 2020 was a major catalyst for sure in the movement. But prior to that, even too, the ultimate reason why it grew so fast is because it's truth, right? It was again stimulating thought, and yeah, there would people come on the channels all the time claiming this or that, and sometimes they were valid, but a lot of times people making stuff up. But then that's when the proofs started, massive proofs too, especially in the beginning, talking about Saudi Arabia, and then all the crown princes get arrested in Saudi Arabia in early November. And then there's a picture on Air Force One with Trump. He's on Air Force One at his desk, and they're all doing the thumbs up. And if you track where all the thumbs are, it makes a Q. And then the newspaper he has on his desk is about the arrest in Saudi Arabia. And then the image that came with that, if it was uploaded from, I believe, the White House, the image name started with "Do It Q," and for that to be a random generated thing to start off with "Do It Q" is like something trillion to one. And then there was many other proofs along the way, which we would call zero deltas, meaning Q would drop first, and then less than a minute later, the president would tweet. And they did this in a very strategic way. Again, at the very beginning, what we'd call the Q-tards, your autists, your people that were really great at pattern recognition and studying this. They was the core in the beginning to know this was real. And there's a Q drop 3414 that says only anons can appreciate the continued validations and confirmations through covert means. So we knew a long time that this was very real. We'd get these confirmations, we'd get these proofs, and then that organically spread. But that being said, because the information is difficult to decipher and it can be complex, there's a lot of people that know in their heart that it's real and they follow it, but at the same time, they don't know where to find the drops. They didn't know what's what. So they kind of been just going along. And sometimes there can be a little bit of group think there. I, of course, always challenge people to go deeper and deeper. And that's like, peeling the layers of the onion back, which goes to what you're asking there about the cabal, deep state. What are they trying to do? Well, the ultimate goal of them is to keep us under their control. The ultimate goal too is keep us sick, dying, and then make money off us. So war and things like keeping people sick and then so we slowly are dying and under their control is their ultimate goal. And I believe too, these are demonic, service to self entities from that terminology would be that we, the people, we are the ones that are actually God's children that can actually manifest. And our collective consciousness is the most powerful thing in the world. That we can create anything collectively. And the cabal has basically steered us to manifest what they want because they don't have that ability to. So by using movies and fear and basically hurting us like sheep, they've kept us in control and under their will and power. But and then that's the biggest thing that Q says is think for yourself, trust yourself, right? When you start researching, you're thinking for yourself, you're no longer reacting emotionally to things, and you're thinking logically. That immediately takes you outside of their control because they can no longer steer you with false flags or this or that. You step back and you see things from a deeper perspective.
Yeah.
And then one last thing specifically like about the Biden incident, we would get, again, confirmations from what I would say Q team at any of these moments when the so-called QAnons would become panicans, like, oh my God, how is Biden getting inaugurated? There's all this fraud in the election. It should be obvious. Well, guess what? He signs 17 executive orders on his first day in office. And if you look too, the executive orders are actually blank. So these are confirmations to us that this is still part of the plan. And then, some people don't understand then, but down the road, we look back like, wow, this Biden presidency allowed so much opportunity to wake up more people, to do certain things like go into war with like Ukraine because we have to go in the deep underground military bases there, their biolabs, the human trafficking, the messy stuff. We can blame it on Biden and we, this border invasion, right? And then immediately Trump's in office. Next thing you know, the border's secure. So all these things were done to ultimately wake the people up because it's not about the military just coming in. I say a million times, the military's waiting for us. It's not their way around. We had to be forced to the precipice to finally take action. And people are still wanting to sit on their couch and wait for something to happen. You have to collectively take action. It's a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And I think we're finally understanding that.
Oh, we're well on our way. And you know what? I was just going to say, Kelly, that one.
Isn't it true that none of the high officials actually took oaths of offices?
Well, I'm not as
Or is
familiar
that
with
just
that
something
one,
that I
but
heard?
for instance, what's the guy's name? Help me, Mel. That Age knows real well. It'll come to me in just a sec. It'll come to me in a second. He does the whole series about
That's what we
showing.
had heard, yes, that they hadn't taken oaths, yes, and so that's.
I just remember going back and hearing that like the Mayorkas and
they were
even
displaced.
the typically in any administration, your high officers, the Secretary of State, all these people actually take oaths of offices, and just in particular in that administration, you couldn't find
just
any of them.
too.
Yeah, they were just appointed. It was just something that I remembered, and I thought maybe
no hearing about them being appointed.
Well, they have to actually put their hand on a Bible and take the oath of office, and there's no record, and there's no, because it's usually something that's taped. But we can move on. That was just something I remembered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to add to that, a really big one though, this is again, a friend of ours does this really great breakdown, is how our military does stuff very strategically and specifically. Derek Johnson, that's the name I was looking. Derek Johnson does a great breakdown of, if you look at when the inauguration happens, first off, it has to happen at the exact minute. There's all these very procedural things. The military does a different thing for Biden's presidency, and it's only two things. It's either for a funeral and or a foreign dignitary. And this does get very complicated. And even myself studying this for years, I don't fully understand all the ins and outs, because we have a United States corporation, the entity. So when you see United States in all capital letters, and it's the Constitution of, and then the United States it's for the corporation. And then we're going back to the Republic, which is the United States without the capital letters. So there's some confusion there too, because Washington, D.C. is on independent territory and land. This gets a little complicated, so I don't want to go into too much of that, but that's a very clear one, that Biden had a completely different inauguration. Another thing y'all can look up, go look up your AI, ask your AI, is anybody listening out there, see if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris flew together in Air Force One. And see if they would ever do that. That would never happen. You never have the president and the vice president fly together for operational security reasons. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris flew together multiple times.
We say sometimes you have to show the people. And so in the Q drops, it says sometimes you have to show the people.
Yeah, you can't always just tell them. You got to show them.
With Biden, that we had to go through that to show the people what it would be like. And the dash matters.
Mm-hmm.
So
blowing and spending a bunch of money was part of the process.
Oh, it's kind of breaking the system.
Yeah,
it is.
Down.
And we've talked about
because
that.
There's a lot going on. It's not just taking down the cabal. I mean, can you imagine doing that? Like, how would you even plan that? So this isn't something this is the finest military planning ever that has ever happened. And it's, maybe 70 years in the making. And there are no leaks. So to awaken the people, they had to do it so we didn't have civil unrest, because there's people like me and you that have questions, and they're going to go look, right? And we would have been the one that would have been the fray. So they took the fray, and they started educating them on what was going on in order to help them. And because the plan really isn't to just take down the cabal. The plan is to give the government that was taken from the people back to the people.
Power back to the people. And so that, to add to that too, again, we're basically going to bankrupt that corporation system too, right? The spending. And then you also do have to really kind of get on board that there is this movie playing out. Think about any military situation before they disclose their technology. It's been around 50 years. Essentially, we're watching a live military exercise. So all these things have been done already, and you got to kind of just connect the dots and do the research to understand that. So even like, let's say this border invasion that we were having, like, was it really actually happening like we thought it was? Now, there was certainly a border invasion, and that was the cabal's plan. But we've kind of, what I say, captured the timelines. I know your listeners will understand some of this. Like what I'm about to explain is the white hats, let's say even like, all of them, JFK or even Trump being assassinated. Anybody, if you've seen that Illuminati card game, that was like part of the cabal's plan, would be to kill Trump, how much division that would cause, fear, chaos, etc. But there were certain inflection points. If you're familiar with like Project Looking Glass, they talked about trying to look at in the future timelines, and there were certain inflection points that couldn't be avoided. So basically, as my understanding is, the White Hats basically captured those timelines by playing out the events under their control and then using it to our advantage. So it's Trump getting shot in the ear, and oh my gosh, and then they play along with the the divine thing and play along to the Christian based type of thing. Like it's again kind of building a cult in a way, because you have to create this movement. And all these different factors. And then I believe if you go into it farther, it goes all the way back to even JFK, where I believe we even were in control of that situation. So it's quite intense how deep this plan goes. Like I said, peeling back the layers. There's almost like no bottom to it. You can keep. That's why we love the Q drop so much. Some people collective like, oh, we understand everything. No way. That's why we do it as a group, because somebody brand new might ask a question we never thought before, and it opens a brand new door. And now one thing I'll add about the Q drops, they're quantum. So we're reading Q drops still from 8 years ago, but they're more relevant now than they were even then. And that's like teaching going that fifth dimensional type stuff, the quantum timelines, where it's not black and white 3D, like, oh, this answer is right, so that everything else is wrong. Like, no, there can be multiple right answers. And then also these Q posts are quantum. It might have made perfect sense in 2017 with Saudi Arabia, but now in 2025, maybe SA means Save America. And he's talking exactly, I mean, they're talking about the National Guard being deployed in these cities. And we were just doing that on our show today. That was from 8 years ago, this Q drop, and it lines up perfectly with what's going on today. And that's been happening more and more consistently and more quickly as well, too. It's almost like the Q proofs are getting quantum now. They're happening more rapidly and more in your face. And then Q basically did say that the direct confirmation will come, and there will be more just in your face. In the beginning, they're real subtle for just the anons to understand the connections. And now it's getting so blatant, you can't run from it.
So why do you think the cabal is so arrogant? Like, why do they put everything in your face? Meaning, you watch Super Bowl halftime shows, you watch movies, you watch music videos, and it's all there. And it's almost like
a karmic type.
Well, it's just odd that why do they tell you what they're doing before they do it?
Well, I don't want to hog, but I do have a pretty good answer, and I'll let my friends go after there too. It is there, again, like, let's say biblically, that God gave Satan realm over this dominion over this realm. They have to play by certain rules, and that is karmic. The one's called revelation of method. So they basically have to show us and tell us who they are, since they are deceiving us, and that's what they do with the movies and stuff. They actually, again, kind of make us collectively create that reality. But then they also, by showing us who they are, and then we don't stop them, essentially karmically, we've kind of allowed that. We've allowed them to do that to us because they told us who they are, and we haven't stopped them. So they kind of skirt karma that way. Now, they're still going to have their karma because they're doing a lot of shady things still. And then the last part of that, though, is they're straight that arrogant. It's that reptilian thinking, that lower, arrogant, narcissist thinking of, we are unstoppable. You can't touch me. And they quite frankly did, because they took, and this is the hard part for people to grasp too, is like, how could everybody be in on it? It's not everybody in on it. You just had to get to key positions of power. And I think it's Q drop 4620. It talks about control and command positions, politically and governmental and non-governmental positions of power. So that's like your Hollywood. You control Hollywood and music. You control, and then senior positions of FBI, DOJ. You control the president. You control the World Health Organization. These corporate entities that have all these power. And you essentially, they're untouchable. So they got into positions. That was their insurance policy. The people that would prosecute all these crimes are actually on blackmail, right? Blackmail runs the world. That's why there's P. Diddy. P. Diddy's is not just one. There's many. The operation Epstein. Epstein isn't a guy. He's an operation. And there's many of them around the world. Nygaard in Canada, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Very complicated.
Well, we had a demonologist on, and he was talking about how you have to give consent.
Yes.
And in order, when you're watching and you're okay with stuff like what I was talking about, like with the ads and the music, that's giving consent.
Right. Yes.
And it's so, I mean, that kind of makes sense to me, where if you have this kind of evil cabal trying to bring you into almost like a kind of evil demonic realm, like watching it and being okay with it and dancing with it and loving it, that's giving consent.
Right. Yeah, they make it trending. Go ahead.
It's a 2,000-year-old cult, and
At
so
least.
at least minimum, right? So part of that is, like you said, it's a karmic thing. They have to tell us what they're going to do, and then if we're in agreement with it, it's kind of like, see, you agreed to it. So it's kind of it's like a contract.
Q alerts.
It's a 2,000 or over 2,000-year-old cult. Thank you, Ginni. So when did this really start in the United States? Is this like, during the development of the Federal Reserve, or was it way before? How did we lose so much control and give these people, dominion over our existence?
Right. Tim wanted to share something. I had my volume all the way down the computer, so I'll let him jump into. But definitely,
we fell asleep. The whole world fell asleep. We were distracted. That's their plan, right? Their plan all along, and they play the long game, was just to distract us with sports and movies and entertainment here,
bread and circuses.
There. Make the wives go to work because all of a sudden the man of the house can't provide for his family anymore through the taxation system and depreciation. But I just wanted you guys to know, live on your show, QAlerts.pub just dropped. It went down. I can't pull a Q drop.
Wow.
How does that happen? We're over the target.
What does that mean?
So that's one that. So okay, you asked where the drops were at 4chan, then 8chan. Now they're on 8kun, but that's really complicated places to find the Q drops. Like, I'm actually not very tech savvy. I do the show and share the screen, but I'm not tech savvy. I wouldn't be able to be on there. So there's what are called third-party aggregators that basically take all the drops for us. Yeah, you understand. So, but and over time, if you obviously know, you were paying attention to drops back in the early days, that these sites will go down. But the two main ones we use are, we say QAG, QAGG.news. They have .pub, some other ones, and then the other one is QAlerts.net or .pub. And Tim just said it went down like right in the middle of the show, so it's just that's wild.
Yeah, QAG's still running, but Q Alerts just went down right in the middle of our. Actually, it was just a couple of minutes ago while Kelly was talking about the cult. Kelly, when you were talking about the cult, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because we're bringing awareness. We're taking them down one evil person at a time.
What? It might not even be people. It might be entities that are coming through, and they're in control of the squares, the black squares around the planet.
I don't know what that is.
And they feed off the loosh.
Okay.
Ooh, loosh. That's a good term to put out there for people.
Ginny's a little more quantum than I am. Like, I'm a little more analytical, but he brings like a different element into the show because he really likes quantum physics and different dimensions.
That's right, at Mel's
I've
alley.
heard this before.
Well, through CERN, that stuff is here.
Well, I think it might have been here before that.
For a long time.
Yeah. Those those are deep topics, and that's even the NQ themselves doesn't go so far into those things because they had to still be a certain level of mainstream, and also the drops will take you there, and that's like we kind of say those are like the rabbit holes, the offshoots, and they all connect and they all have the place, right? But the two biggest reasons I think is one, because ultimately you still got to make your own decision. It's your own belief system. You got to get to these things, and then Q has to kind of stay a certain ways away from it. And Tim's always been really good at that. We do Qschqql. We would investigate different things, but we always still kind of came back to the Q drops, which gave us a roadmap to like stay on track. And you were even saying in your introduction there about the political thing, and I think the great joke is too. I was never political until they made everything political. Like our sports and the TV shows and all this nonsense. So the Q drops actually made me learn a lot more about government because I just knew it was corrupt from the get-go. I never paid any attention to politics. I didn't know who my parents voted for. They didn't talk about any of and all that stuff. So it really weaves everything together. It really does, though.
So we have about 2 minutes to the top of the hour break. I want to make sure you guys get time. Plug your channel. You guys take it away for 2 minutes, and we'll be back again for the second hour of the show. But like I said, give yourself some plugs and any kind of message you want to give before our second break.
I'll defer to my friends on that.
Awesome. Well, I want Kyle to pull up that Q drop on Qegg because Q alerts is down. Bring up that famous the entity of Q. Melzie, go ahead and plug your channel. I mean, you were the one that brought us to your specific channel. We always started with Qschqql on Telegram, but Melzie had a bigger vision for us. So take it away, sister, and then Kyle will read that famous Q drop for us.
Yeah, so on Rumble, you can find us on Hammer Time Rapid Fire Q News.
Say that again.
Yeah,
Hammer Time.
Yeah, it's a little long.
Rapid Fire Q News.
If you search Hammer Time, you should see it. It'll be the long name, Hammer Time Rapid Fire Q News, and then there's a Q patch with a military. The profile image is a Q patch.
And then if you go on to Telegram, it's Qschqql. The 2 Qs.
Yeah,
so school has 2 Q's in the middle. So it's QSCHQQL. Want to remind the listeners, so we're talking to Tim 17. We're talking to Kyle. He's from Alaska. He's undercover white hat. We're talking to Melzie, and she's out of New Mexico. She's the producer of the show. So we'll be back in about 6 minutes. This is the Nighthawk Resurrected. Guys, look into it. The only thing you can do is empower yourself with knowledge. And from everything I hear from all these people, all they're saying is look into it. Research it yourself. So check out their channel. I think you'll enjoy it. This is the Nighthawk Resurrected. We will be back in 6 minutes. Hang on, folks.
KFC of Santa Cruz.
You are listening to the Nighthawk on Ksco.
Wow. Well, that's fun. I'm having fun. I don't know about you guys. This is fun, till my daddy took the T-bird away. I can't believe Q alerts went down.
Here, they're still in. I was wondering, are you guys there?
Yeah. Can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We have 6 minutes.
Break,
and then we'll go until 7:30, and our last break is at 7:30.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have another 6-minute break at 7:30. We played it before you guys got on, so.
Okay. Yeah, we were listening and then heard some of that. Okay.
Okay.
Is everything going okay for you guys? Is there anything you want different? Or?
How's things going?
I think it's okay as long as you guys can hear us okay. The reverb and stuff, we're trying to stream through, and it looks like we're there. So
Okay.
Mel's giving me some weird
Sounds
signals. I'm
good
not
on
sure
our
if she's
side.
trying.
I'm hearing bad reverb, but are you guys hearing it?
A little bit. I can't figure out. It's more so since they went on break. Okay.
Oh, it's probably because of our speaker. We got
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you hearing it now?
That's
Yeah,
better.
no, that's better, much better. Yeah, no. Again, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for bringing us on tonight and allowing us to talk a little bit about this because it does change people's lives. And yeah, I mean, in the next section, I really want Kyle to read a couple of those very powerful Q drops that basically, because a lot of people are going to ask, what is this Q? What is Q, right? And there are a couple of Q drops in particular that Kyle has really, really honed in on, and we use them in our shows a lot. And when he reads them, when you read them, it makes sense, right? It's logical. I think you start thinking logical. And then, spiritually, I mean, that's one thing we haven't talked about yet, but a lot of people like myself who never went to church my whole life or anything, never had a Bible, all of a sudden now I've become a very spiritual a being because of the Q drops. It wasn't anything else. It wasn't a preacher. It wasn't a church. It was this movement. It was the Q drops. So there's a good spiritual addition to the 4,966 drops in here. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that. But ultimately, it was over before it began, and we're in it to win it, obviously. And I'm glad you guys brought us on. I hope that we help your listeners a lot. I really do. I pray for that.
To get into their life and to understand it, because there's been a lot of negative publicity or push on this, and of course they're going to put that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been multifaceted from all the attacks we've had from the beginning. It's the second most attacked thing, only to Donald Trump. But then since then, too, they've really done this coordinated effort with bots. I'm quite sure it's like a lot of AI accounts to make it artificially seem like there's these attacks, and they're spinning this whole. That's the big spin they're on, is like it's Mossad and Trump's a controlled, asset and all this stuff, because same thing we discussed, like with it's all our frequencies. So they're trying. I always say the enemy's only tools are fear, doubt, and confusion. Fear, doubt, and confusion. So they're always trying to lower our frequency. And Q provides the opposite to talking about what Tim was saying spiritually. We have faith, knowing there's a plan, and that the good guys are in control, and we need to just keep moving forward and are divinely guided and protected, and knowing that. And the cabal, or whatever you want to call them, tries to always inject fear and doubt into us, because that lowers our frequency, and then you're not manifesting the reality we want.
Well, yeah, it's a way of controlling the masses, because they're beginning to be more aware. And so when you get over 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% aware, that's like real threatening.
Right.
Amen. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ginni. Sorry, Melzie, go ahead.
Ginni, I just want to say that I study quantum physics too, and plasmic physics is kind of my thing.
Yeah, she's a big physics nerd. Big time. I mean, she's super intelligent. Like, that's how we started some of our first shows before we were even doing the Q things with Mel and I, at least.
Yeah, if I can give a shout out to both Kyle and Melzie, they would fit in really good.
Well, they were talking that. So the cube, the black cube, there's one under, there's one in the center of Mecca. That's the cube that everybody's praying to there.
Right.
Yep, I know.
There's one under the Vatican, and there's one in the center of New York. They control it through money. Those are areas that they're pulling energy from: the financial district, the Vatican, and also Mecca. And when people pray, there's more energy.
Yes.
Right.
And then people pray for money, and that's why that's there. So we're coming back on. We have 15.
Okay.
15 seconds. 15 seconds. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, now it's better. I can't hear the reverb.
They might have
Thank you guys for sticking with us. It's so exciting to be here, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. So I don't know how the next part will go, if they'll have the audience ask questions or not, but maybe think of some questions if they do.
I don't know if they were hearing you. I feel like they might have put us on hold to go back to their station.
But we're still live with our
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You're talking
to our audience, dummy. Let's go.
Oh, I couldn't keep track of all that. My brain's going. I'm still trying to figure out how this all working.
All right, guys, we're all back on the air. So I want to remind the listeners, we're talking to Tim 17, we're talking to Kyle, and we're talking to Melzie. And they have what's called Qschqql. So you guys can go on to Rumble. You can follow their show. It's Monday through Friday, 2:17 Eastern. Check it out, because they spend a lot of time researching. And I just want to say one thing before we kind of get into maybe some Q drops and some more info you guys want to give. There's a lot of really negative things on the fake news, the media, that's said about the Anons, really. And I don't know. I just remember hearing stuff on CNN and some of these mainstream platforms where they're talking about, us as being like these violent people, and this is completely opposite of what this movement is really about. I mean, so you guys can kind of take it away. I mean, what's your thought on that, on all of the kind of nasty rhetoric that's come out about this whole movement?
I got a simple answer. Think mirror. Anything the mainstream media tells you, think the reverse. Flip it 180 degrees, you'll find the truth. Just saying. Kyle, what do you got to say about this?
Yeah, I mean, it's well, for one, it's a badge of honor, right? From the people that told you Russia was real. They told you, Ukraine and all this other stuff. But yeah, it's a badge of honor in a way too. And then that's part of this whole crumbling. What's kept people in the matrix more than the mainstream media, the narrative, the Hollywood, right? They're all in lockstep with each other. So being attacked, and then it's projection, right? It's that narcissistic projection. Accuse others of what you're doing. And I think that also just goes to wake more people up as long as they can get to the drops. And that's a big part of what our Qschqql family really here does is we're always showing love. We're always laughing and having a good time too. And that's really what the memes are all about as well. Like you got to laugh at how ridiculous the world is. And quite frankly, it's been painful, right? I mean, a lot of us have been ridiculed or ostracized or outcast by our family and friends, or we can't see our kids because we didn't get vaccinated, or we can't see our parents, or whatever nonsense you want to go with. But at the end of the day, we held the line. We stood true to our principles, and people will know that, and people are coming around to that. And I talk about that a lot too in general too, that our friends and family are still watching us on our different social medias. So to be a good steward of the information, I always just put grounded information. I don't put the craziest stuff on there because sometimes when people wake up, they want to say that craziest thing, or what we call date fagging. That's kind of a Chan term, is like, I guess we shouldn't use the terms on the radio, but the like guessing the date was people get their ego in there and like, oh, Joe Biden's going to get arrested at the inauguration, and like the Q drops don't actually say that. So there's also the difference between Q and the anons, and we'll probably read that Q drop. I have it up. It kind of explains the difference between Q and anons and QAnon, and why they actually did that as well too, because you can inject fake anons to the movement and say that this person did this and try to attach that to the movement. But the Q drops never ever call for violence. They don't ever. It's not about a far right thing. And the very first handful of drops to it says this is not left versus right. This isn't Democrat versus Republican, and it should be obvious too. That's the swamps on both sides with all of that. So a lot of it's, though, it's a ton of love, right? It's all about united, we're strong, divided, we're weak. Yep. Unity is the core message, really, is unity and coming together. We the people.
It is too. And when you read that drop, when you go into that particular drop, and this is a real boomer, I call it like a juicy fruit Q drop. And it really does. It does tell the tale, but it didn't come out until 2020. And don't forget the Q drop started back in 2017, October 28th, as a matter of fact. And we used hashtag QAnon all those years to go worldwide. And the fake news media, of course, pounced on it right away. QAnon, booga, 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 we call it. And what it was to me was a trap. Like the White House is so good at setting these traps. And you look at what's going on right now with the insurrection and the insurgency and all these corrupt governments, the governors, the mayors, they're all being shone the big beautiful light on them right now. Everybody can see it. I mean, if you can't see it, I don't know what to tell you, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. But yeah, this Q drop refers to and basically waits till 2020. I think it was December, Kyle. Am I right on that? December, that Q drop?
October 7th, actually, October 17th. Excuse me, 17th. October 17th.
Okay, there you go. So let's go ahead and read that one. But just remember, we trapped them.
Maybe next Friday's the 17th. Okay, he's tapped in more ahead of us. So yeah, today's the 7th, which we could still today is the 17th, and that was divine timing again. Of course, you guys all called Tim, and we call them the God bumps or the Qschqql chills when you guys were talking about coming on the radio, and then it picked the date. I'm like, look at that, October 7th is on there. So with it's a kind of another bridge too. We get into a little bit is gematria is changing numbers to letters to numbers, like A is 1, B is 2, whatever. And then, but you can drop the 0. So on October 7th, or you can even say is 10 plus 7 is a 17, or you just drop the zeros, 10-0-0-7 or is a 17 also. So it's pretty cool that we're doing this show on today's date also.
Synchronicity.
Yep, indeed. Indeed.
It is, yeah.
And then I forgot what you guys
just asked. Q. I always said Q stands for quantum. We are Q. Like a lot of people ask, like, who is Q? What is Q? Well, we are all Q. And in the Q drops, there's a number of Q drops that have this beautiful image of DJT 41020, Q plus. We call him Q plus. We call him the boss. walking down that beautiful red carpet to his inauguration of 2017, January 20th, 2017, when he said, we're not giving power back from one party to another. We're giving power back from Washington, D.C. and giving it back to you, the people, with the military right behind them, all the JAG officers. You can't make this up. I mean, this is the power behind this movement. And the Q drops specifically, if you follow them closely, read them daily, stay in the loop, stay in the grind, hold the line, as a common phrase, you'll see that this is all playing out. And one of the most beautiful things about our show, and Melzie set up her channel 2 years ago, waiting for Kyle and I to come on board, because we were doing our little Q schools just on Telegram, really with a smaller audience, but with her Rumble channel called Hammer Time Rapid Fire Q News. Every day we go on, there's breaking news, and we even today, our show earlier today, we had not one but two confirmations of the news unlocking the map and hitting an actual Q drop, and in one particular case hit today's Delta, October 7th. From back 5 years ago. So it was a 5 year
gotten really wild, the confirmations, even with specifically with our group, our show. Like, we were doing the show, we actually, I predicted where Trump would be meeting Putin at prior to it being announced publicly, and then CNN puts out an article even that says it's going to be at J Bear, that's the base, and it says CNN reported this first. And then Tim said it's going to happen during our show, and it literally live on our show. And they fly over with the B-2 bomber at 11:11, and I'm in Alaska. I'm just a couple miles away from the base, and it starts. You can hear the flyover on the live stream. I'm sharing my screen, watching it, and then it reverbs on my microphone as the B-2 bomber flies over directly over me after flying over Trump and Putin. Within like 3 seconds, it reverbed on the mic. So we've had all kinds of confirmations since we started the daytime show.
And the interesting thing about that particular time when we were doing our live show was when I mentioned
for like 30 years.
Hold on, no, Tim was trying to go. Okay.
Yeah, what I was saying that on that particular day, sorry, it must be reverbing. Sorry about that.
Go, Tim.
Yeah, like I basically said, as Trump was walking down the red carpet and Putin was coming down the other red carpet, and they were going to the handshake, and they met, and I said, and I just happened to read a Q drop off the top of my head. What if Russia, China, and others are working with POTUS to eliminate the NWO? And that was the 11/11 hit right there with the B-2 bombers going over. It was such a beautiful, magical moment. I mean, we had God chills all over our bodies when that happened. I couldn't believe it.
That Q drop was on November 11th also, and then the flyover was at 11:11 Alaska time, and then now that special envoy from Russia has been doing these Q drops on X, and all of a sudden he posted that exact Q drop that Tim said right at exactly 11:11.
2 days ago, you can't make it up.
It's weird, like it's like this quantum thing, or like again, like I mean, it gets super complicated, but somehow we're connected with anybody that's really dove deep into the Q drops. You'll have some sort of intimate connection with it, is all. But I know Mel's dying to share something, so I'll let her go.
Yep. Mel, tell us how did this become for you? Because like you said, you got woke up 30 years ago.
Well, when you wake up though, especially I'm sure you guys have explored a lot of things. You feel alone in that and isolated. Yeah. So that's kind of where I was. I lived in that area, trying to sort through the things that I knew, and I would help teach people, but it was very isolating, and what I wanted more than anything was to bring down the cabal and to see the things that I foresaw for humanity to be there, like, free energy and peace and love and those things, unity.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I think it's really what everybody's trying to get to, whether it's the right or the left. Everybody's been really pitted against each other. And unfortunately, I think if everybody kind of got together, I mean, maybe not everybody, but the majority, we want a civil society where we're not hurting each other and everybody's prospering, right?
Yes, it says they want us divided in the Q post. And so that's part of this, is that we have to learn how to be united. And, through this movement, what I found is we had to learn how to be united. Like, we don't all have the same beliefs or thoughts, but we had the same desire, and that was to see justice and to see, the children saved, and then to see peace on earth and these things that we wanted to stay united in. And so it took us a while to get there, but we really have worked hard to be be that, to be unity together. And we've had different projects, like Tim is just a forerunner in that. And he had a project that he helped organize called the PUP Project. It was Patriots Unification Project. And we had different channels that would have different shows and chats on Telegram every day of the week. And Tim spearheaded that, but it really brought us as patriots together. We would work things out sometimes in heated arguments, but yet we learned to love each other. And you can really tell that on our shows that we're really a big family.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the process, and not being like, like they said, like a cult member, right? Like we all have our own experiences and how we see things. So to be able to get on with each other and debate and go, no, this isn't right, or we don't agree, and that's okay, and still being able to come together as a fellow human being and still love each other and be friends and not firebombing each other is kind of what we need.
Yes, absolutely.
It is.
I want to add something real quick. Another place to find me on is our stream too is X. So, and if people aren't familiar, Rumble is a YouTube alternative that doesn't censor. So it's just rumble.com. It's just like YouTube. So you don't have to make a profile, but if you do, you can follow us. That's the Hammer Time channel there. But also on my X, if you actually just search Undercover White Hat, it should pop up. My @name's actually Quantum Healer 17. A little complicated. We got all of our different names and tags, but we've been kind of just winging it as we go here. But if you search Undercover White Hat, you can find me on X there, and then at Undercover White Hat on like Instagram. I still stream it into Instagram stuff too. So just some other places that you can find our shows. I did want to add that.
And then you guys, if you go to Qschqql, we'll have all the information. You'll be able to find the shows and find where we're all located. So that might be the easiest too.
Yeah.
If you don't get it all. Qschqql
Right.
with 2 Qs.
Yeah, and that's our late night.
In the middle.
Our late night Telegram chats is exactly what you were explaining. Which one's Ginni? Which one's Kelly? I'm sorry.
I'm Kelly.
Okay, thank you. I just want to get that mixed up. So,
you're good.
just what you're saying, Ginni, though, the Telegram voice chat, which was actually a revolutionary thing when that first happened, too, to be able to get on a voice chat and speak to somebody immediately like that. Somebody's in Australia has a question, and somebody in Georgia answers, and somebody in New York has another question, and somebody in Canada. So we met a bunch of people, but it put us through the crucible of like ascension of like growing pains and stuff. And like Mel was saying, having this Patriot Unification Project, which was, I kind of had to step away in my life. I had my own storm in my own life and had to get back on my feet, my own growth process. That's also part of, I think, why this thing has taken so long, or some people think it's so long, or whatever, but it's like, we all had to go through our own shadow work and collective healing individually, and then we're doing that on a collective level. But Telegram voice chat specifically has accelerated everything from knowledge to information, but especially like triggering each other. And we will also even do that intentionally. We'll kind of jab on each other and do all this stuff to kind of trigger, or we'll just be talk about beliefs and like the belief in whatever, higher power, whatever it is. And we'll challenge each other like, well, that doesn't make sense. Or what about this? And our one friend, he always plays the devil's advocate, he's like, well, how do you know that? And so it's really been this growth process. So if y'all want to, you can find us late nights on the Telegram voice chats. We have a community there, and this is a great way to learn information. It can be a bit information overload for anybody new there. But again, if you get in the voice chats and find our specific groups and kind of find a safe community there, that will help you learn whatever you want and get you up to speed.
Well, a lot of people struggle with cracking the consciousness. So if you have a belief of what you always thought everything was supposed to be, and then you're awakened to something that is just bizarre to you, that you see these things and you can't explain it and no one else sees it like you see it, that's something that it takes a minute for people to digest.
Right.
And that's probably what you guys are talking about going through. We have a caller that wants to ask a question.
Yeah, she's been on hold for a while.
Oh, okay.
Taking a
Cool.
question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We're going to... Welcome to the Nighthawk Resurrected. You're on the air. Tell us your name and where are you from?
My name is Kathy. I'm from Florida, and I have a question for Kyle.
Okay.
Hey, Kat.
And are you allowed to explain to the people the adrenochrome epidemic and the children?
Am I allowed to? I am. But we're on a radio show. Is that?
Well, you can say whatever you want. We're a free speech radio show. We just can't use profanity.
Yeah.
No profanity.
And this is that's a topic there too, where we shown quite a bit of evidence, and like we say, sometimes you can't tell people, you got to show them, and certain people aren't ready for certain things. But this really. There's a Q post that talks about Occam's razor. Occam's razor means when there's multiple explanations for something, the simplest explanation is usually right. And the irony here with this whole thing, when people say, oh, this is crazy conspiracy, or like when COVID happened, how could everybody be in on it? But when you understand, then the key thing that holds it together, well, first off, one, there's evil, there's good, and there's evil in the world. There really is evil people, but most people are very good. And then the other side of that is they controlled the world with blackmail, and then that connects then directly to the children and the children's life force and how powerful it is. And then so adrenochrome is adrenalized blood. I'm not sure why she called me to ask this question. So there's some really good documentaries on that kind of stuff too. I think they go down that rabbit hole just to look up that adrenochrome as well. If you also look up Trump's tweet from 2012, got to do something about these perverts grabbing the children.
These people are sick.
Yeah. It really ties everything together, because Epstein Island wasn't just a bunch of wealthy people having sex with like young women. It's much more darker than that. And like in Ginni Ginni was alluding to that earlier by saying like the loosh and stuff, right? So the ley lines, and using children specifically, right? This adrenalized blood is very dark. It's very horrific to find out this stuff. It's emotionally taxing on you. You have to kind of deal with that in your own different way. And that's why, like we were saying too, sometimes you need to be introduced to things slowly, like crumbs and stuff. And that's what the Q drops talk about. Even like Epstein will be the final like curtain call of that, and that's going to be the keystone that will actually unite everyone. Just like Kelly was saying, we all want the same things. I say it quite a bit even on our show, because I'm pretty adamant about the vaccines. Of course, Tim is as well with his autistic child, but I'm very adamant about the vaccines. And I say that exact thing is the parents who believe the narrative of Big Pharma that vaccines protect their children, they want their children protected. So they're very adamant about getting the vaccines. The people that have learned the truth and know how bullshit how bad that is, that they are adamant about telling people not to get vaccinated. So we want the same thing. We just have had different information. And then of course, with the media dividing people and polarizing everything so much, and then dehumanizing people with their words and stuff, that's what's really divided us. But there's a great meme too saying like, we're fighting the wrong people, but it's like they're playing the game on our backs. When we stand up, the game's over for them. So when we understand it's not your neighbor, that's the enemy, even if they're a Democrat or liberal or libertarian, it doesn't matter who's what. We all want the same thing. And that's really how government's supposed to work is you have your different ideas and beliefs and you work together on something, not just totally be resistant and trying to prevent everything. It's supposed to work together so that you have a give and take thing. And hopefully it's going to come back to that.
I think Kyle's going to be paying a $17 fine. Just saying.
I was going to say, I should have put a sticky note. I should have put the sticky note on the screen. No profanity. Because sometimes I get fired up on the show.
Yeah, you guys are used to being on other platforms, so
yeah,
it doesn't matter. It's just those government regulatory agencies. They love to smack you down with fines. Well, thank you, caller, for calling in. Do you have anything else you want to ask before we let you go? Oh no, thanks for calling.
Thanks, Kathy.
For listening.
Thanks, Kat.
You're welcome.
And I kind of sidestepped that a little bit, but I think it's one of those things you got to organically get to. And again, if you haven't done the research, there's a really good documentary. Again, you probably find these on Rumble. Is Pedogate 2020. Look up Pedogate 2020. It's a very grounded documentary. It's showing the symbolism. It's just asking questions. It stays skeptical, and you can get to that truth yourself. That's how Q works too. By coming to these topics, you get introduced to it, and it kind of comes around cyclically. We talk about that too.
What's that famous Q drop? The choice to know will always be yours.
The choice to know is yours. Yeah, ultimately, his choice is yours.
Will be their downfall.
Symbolism will be their downfall.
Well, everybody sees everything when it's time for them to see it.
Yeah, but there's a
Right.
lot that put blinders on. You
Sure.
know, there's a probably about 20% of our population to where
They don't
you could show them everything laid out, and they're not going to wake up. But
Well, that has to do with tracking the consciousness. If you can't accept the things that you're hearing, you're not going to hear it.
well, right. But you don't need the entire population. We just need a good majority to kind of wake up and take some action.
100th monkey effect.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that goes the concept of NPCs, and you've seen a lot of weird stuff too since the vaccines have came out. You know, with the graphene oxide and like some of his friends and family, it's like, are they totally lost? It's hard to say. I'm always optimistic, and I've heard numbers that still a bunch will wake up, but that's just, we talk about this too because when you learn stuff, you want to help your friends and family, and we've all had this kind of journey. And something that humbled me was I kind of got a message that it was like, who am I to say what's best for another soul's journey? Like if you believe in, you know, multiple lives and stuff, it really humbled me. Like, wow, you know, maybe this person has to experience this to wake up later on, you know, because unfortunately sometimes the best teacher is pain and things like that. And so, but what helps me then, we still have this big heart. We want to help everyone, but the truly best thing we can do is show the way. We're all healing ourselves. Yeah, we be the light. And like, think about when somebody's stuck in the darkness, what's the best way to just be the light? Put up a big torch for them to follow. And a lot of these people, unfortunately, have been followers. So it's not our job to wake anybody up. It's long past that. But that's also where like using the Socratic method works much better, because the narrative is done so well that if you say, oh, Joe Biden was this, the narrative, the mainstream media has already programmed them in their mind that when they hear that, they say, oh, no, it just means this. But if you ask a question like, wait a minute, where did the flu go in 2020? They might not have an answer right away. Or let's say they try one answer like, oh, everybody was wearing masks and social distancing. Well, then why didn't COVID go away? Right. And if you can ask a question, and each person has a different field they're interested in, whether it's medical or sports or you know, trade or economy or what have you, right? Schools is each person has that thing. But again, if you can ask a question that the mainstream media cannot answer with their narrative, sometimes that's the best thing, and not even answer it for them. Just say, that's interesting, huh? And leave it. And like, because the mind has to go to work looking for that answer. So I say it's like a rock in their shoe, and you've kind of started that match that they're going to make. Hopefully they'll go look up something. Or then eventually too, if you're a good steward of information, like I talk about a lot, and you're putting grounded information out there and you're not guessing when a date's going to happen, and you're saying maybe this will happen sometime soon, and it does, then people will start coming to you, and then they start trusting you. And then you also got to be a good guide for them as well when they finally trust you to ask a question like, well, what's going on with this? But I've definitely had that, the cognitive dissonance, especially even specifically like the adrenochrome thing that the caller talked about, is like you can show like what's happening, the executive orders Trump's done, there's lots of images, and they'll just totally reject it, like that can't be real, you know what I mean? But it's the planting the seed though too, and then sometimes it's going to take a little while to come back around, and then it'll all come together when people are ready, just like Ginni said.
Really not our job to wake them up.
Right.
But what Kyle was talking about is to just help them to start thinking.
Hang on tight, folks. We gotta take our last commercial break.
Okay.
This is KSDO Santa Cruz. We'll be back in 6 minutes.
6 o'clock can be dangerous. Just saying. Wow. Time's flying when you're having fun here.
I know, right? And we got 5 people on too, so it's probably hard, but hopefully it's flowing okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. We got to get that. You got to read that Q drop, bro. We need to read.
Definitely, I read the Q drop 2788.
Yeah. We got that one. What's the other one that pops out to you right now? Like we're thinking.
I just actually searched. I searched Unity, and this one just looks perfect.
Okay.
We have 6 minutes, guys. So, thank you.
Oh yes, thank you, sir. Yeah, so we'll riddle off a couple of nice Q drops, a nice message for your listeners. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Say some Q drops and like explain them to people so they understand it.
Yeah. We'll keep it simple. Yeah, that's what we like to do on Qschqql. Yeah, perfect.
Maybe explain also where Q came from and the security clearance part.
Military operation. Yeah, we're pretty good at that.
where that comes from, because that's like the highest security clearance is the Q clearance.
Right.
Yeah, Q drop
People
34.
know that we're just telling them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right. I'll come back on just before we get ready to come back on. All right. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. No, thank you. And don't forget, like Kyle and Melzie, like if you ever need them in the future, I mean, I'm kind of a simpleton. I just stick to the Q drops, and I'm so. Oh, okay. Well, maybe they're listening. I don't know if they're gone, but it'd be nice to have you two on in the future. Well, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have them on. That would be fun.
We would,
No,
yeah,
but-
it'd be fun to have them on.
Yeah.
Well,
But I think you
yeah.
and Tim was saying that you and I could go on and do some of our stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because some of
Sasquatch red pills. Yeah. Right up our alley.
Right.
yeah. Melzie, pull your phone a little closer. There's something tinny about your how far away is your phone?
It would be this. Can you hear me better?
No, it's the best. Okay,
Hear me
that's
better?
no, that's the same. It's the same. You're coming through like a tin box versus Kyle's voice. That's all.
Well, she's coming through my phone.
Oh,
So-
that's why.
I have her on speakerphone. Then you hear her coming through. That's why. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's say hi to everybody here joining us tonight. I might not get a chance because we only got a half an
comments
hour.
in there having a chance.
Well,
Yeah. Cat called in. Cat. Mel started picking her nose.
I want to thank all our brothers and sisters from Boots on the Ground, Freedom for All, God Bless You, Spy Balloon, Grand Rising, Refiners Fire, Jen's Den, The Rising, Cat's Crazy Corner, Super Truthers. If I left anybody out, forgive me. I mean, maybe Melzie, you got a couple others, but I know that a lot of you are listening tonight, and we thank you for everything you're doing, keeping your channels flowing and going, and letting us like a place for us to land. And when we want to get off some steam, or maybe a couple of curse words that we can't use tonight on live radio. I mean, Kyle's gonna get fined $17. I'm just saying.
I love that you
That was hilarious.
$17. That was great.
Yeah. When he says bullshit, I said, "Oh, they got him. They got him."
I thought I stopped like 3/4 of the way. I said, bullshit. Go back to the tapes on that one.
Hi, New Zealand. Welcome to the show tonight. Nice to have you with us. God bless you. You want to go down the list, Melzie? Go ahead and say hi to everybody that's with us here on Rumble. At least right now, I can see who's on the chat.
All right, let's see. I've got to go all the way up to the top. We have Cindy in the house. Hey, Cindy, thanks so much for joining us. You're always there, and we love it. And I'm so glad you're learning so much, because we're learning too. And I see Wildflower in the house. Mama Jer for Ray Art. Thank you for your beautiful comments earlier. Love them. Thank you.
She's
Country Girl 2020.
Mama's from Instagram. She's I think she's got an autistic child. Has a bunch of art on there on Instagram.
Oh, God bless you, sister. God bless you.
Yeah. And BS Country Girl 2020, thank you for all your beautiful comments too. We got Kat in the house. Thanks for calling in, girl. We got Brad in the house. Thank you for your beautiful reading last night, Brad. It meant so much to me. That's amazing.
Awesome.
I listened to it again today. Touched my heart. Morello, hey, hi. And we have, we're going down. I think, let's see. Oh, we got Brent, Man of Truth.
Yeah, it says you got some comments from YouTube. Gia Lee too made a comment. Oops, Matthew.
Oh yes, Gia Lee. Hey.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still in, but you got some comments from them.
Rita's there. Hi, Rita. And let's see. I think that keep on going. Oh, we got one from New Zealand. Oh, we got Trinity's in the house. And
Okay, we got 17 seconds, guys.
Tim would love that one. He's already getting tapped in with it. That's so cool. We always do that. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle, hit those Q drops, brother. Hit them hard. We got about 17 minutes left in this show, so let's pour it on.
Welcome back to the Nighthawk Resurrected. We have not very much more time left.
We have 17 minutes left.
17.
I throw that in. So just a big thank you to you guys for taking time. I really want to kind of bring a little bit more unity. We are in a very, very liberal area, and not everybody's open to hearing messages. And I think it's really important for people to be able to get on a microphone and talk. We
Debate is amazing.
If you don't agree with this stuff, fine. Nobody cares. We just want to be able to talk to each other.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit. I mean, we don't have a ton of time left, but is there any Q drops that came that just were like red pill moments for you guys where you were like, wow, this all lined up perfectly? I mean, we could start with, Mel, you want to start, or Tim?
I just want to say one thing. It really was 17 seconds.
Oh, you're awesome. You're awesome, brother. You're connected. We're quantum.
Pass the baton to Kyle, because he's going to pull up some Q drops and go through them, and you'll see why we love studying with Kyle, because he explains them in a way that no one can.
Perfect. Kyle, take it away.
Yeah, so this one actually I just searched. I searched Unity. There's 57 Q drops with Unity in there, and then this one just caught my attention. We're gonna read another one. It's my favorite Q drop of all time, which really was the one that it spells everything out for what the Q movement is so well. But I want to do this one first because it comes to Unity, and you were just talking about a bunch of the liberals in your area, and again, us all want the same thing ultimately too. So this is Q drop 4748 from September 23rd, 2020. Again, you can find the Q drops either on QAG, QAGG. I think they got .news or .pub, and then Q alerts, QAlerts.net or .pub also to find the Q drops and start searching yourself. Or again, the best way to watch our show Monday through Friday at 2:17 p.m. Eastern time for 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours, a couple hours. We'll teach y'all how to find the drops and how to read them. You got to start reading them on your own. There is some that are cryptic and stuff, but it'll start making sense the more you start reading them. But this is Q drop 4748. And it shares a link from New York Post talking about the Senate report links Hunter Biden to human trafficking ring in his laptop. Okay, the one they told you that wasn't real. So this one just says, no media coverage. Why? The same people who control the media are the same people who are part of the evil and corrupt system of control, crimes against humanity. You are not meant to think for yourself. You are not meant to challenge their power, their control. Obey and accept. Illusion of democracy. Illusion of freedom. Why does the media push division? Why does the media incite violence? Why does the media pit race versus race? Why does the media pit religion versus religion? Why does the media pit sex versus sex and class versus class? Divided you are weak. Divided, you fight each other. Divided, you pose no threat to their system of control. That's the people who are really in power. That's my ad. Unity is strength. Unity is power. Unity is humanity. Controlled media plays a major role in shaping the narratives to keep you powerless, helpless, and asleep, unaware of the truth. Enemy of the people, enemy of humanity. Q.
So do you think that's why there's so much media focus right now on Chicago and Portland? Because they're trying to show the, the division?
Yeah, they're always trying to spin that narrative. And I think it was one of the videos we played on our show today, and it made a lot of sense. It was like, don't be upset about the people cleaning up the mess. Be mad at the people that, started the mess. But I know, so I still anti kind of politics in a certain way, even though it's a big part of our life now. And I'll probably be a politician at some point, or there'll be a different name, hopefully, for that. Maybe even government. The word government breaks down to basically control of mind. So we'll need a different term perhaps for that as well. How we navigate together as a group. But yeah, they're always trying to, as I said, we just talked about this. That's why this drop was really interesting. When I searched Unity, we just mentioned a bunch of these things from the show. Divided, you pose no threat to their system of control. And then it's also when you're fighting each other, then we're not fighting the real enemy, right? Which is this corrupt system, and that they've been in control for a long time. So they're going to spotlight certain things and try to highlight it, and then they're going to do their echo chamber and their narratives. And that's part of the problem with this social media is, although social media has definitely woke us up and brought us together to start piecing the truth together, it also, the algorithms immediately put you in these echo chambers, right? So you're everything you like, or if you get mad about the other side stuff and comment on that, then you're going to get exposed to only that instead of stuff that brings us together. And that's where I encourage anyone that is actually awake to start being that bigger person and be calm, right? The more calm and grounded you are in yourself, the more calm you can be when you interact with others. And it's just like the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Seek first to understand, then be understood. If you're starting to just already tell people what the deal is, they're going to be tuning you out. But if you try to understand them, yes, that pulls you in some to be influenced by them, but that makes us have a connection. And then when people feel understood, they're going to stand behind you as well. They're going to listen to what you have to say when they feel understood. Like, some people just want to be heard.
Right. Yeah, it's a difficult thing for people to really understand, because this stuff has been, programmed from, the school age, little babies at 5 years old going to kindergarten all the way up through college. So it's quite a, quite a brain to break.
Yeah.
To the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, really.
And it's deprogramming. And that's why it had to be this way. That's why, like, when, we were all discouraged when Biden became president and we didn't see things happen the way and the outcome we thought it should happen. But the truth is, it was the best thing for us because we all came together. And we started, using that time to really dig in and to learn these things and go down these rabbit holes. But then also, like we said, work together.
Yeah.
We're a whole group. We represent a whole group of people, and it's a beautiful thing. We really care for each other, and it's Q has made me a better person.
Well said. Well said. And if you don't mind, Kyle,
what has Q done that you think has made you a better person?
Because I had to look at myself, like Kyle said, he had to do inner work, and Tim did too. We all kind of took different times off, but we go into kind of group therapy, I guess you'd call it. Our friend Sean calls it the Q refugee camp. Over on Telegram, we have these different rooms we go in, and they know us all. So we start talking to each other about issues we're going. They know us. We all know each other. We know each other by our voices, not from seeing each other. And so we know each other's frequency, really. And it's helped us to grow. Like, we'll call each other out. Sometimes we'll have fights, but then we come back and we work it out. So it's really been a lot of spiritual growth. We grow together. We study things together. We ask questions together. We have differences together, but then we're unified together.
That's amazing. It's like a family.
Yeah, the Great Awakening is really about unlearning everything, and you spoke to that there, Kelly, about how the system of control, I mean, it's been from even before that, in the womb, we were getting programmed from the EMFs and all this stuff, but the programming, and then you watch the children's shows where the children's shows, the kids talk back to the parents and stuff, right? And they're already and the parent characters on these TV shows are stupid, right? The parents are stupid, all this silly stuff, and then also it's been designed where people have to work nonstop. That's why they couldn't awake. Nobody had time to actually research this stuff. That's why 2020 was such an awakening, because people work nonstop.
White hat operation extraordinaire, military planning at its finest, I say.
Shut us down on March 17th.
So you guys you think 2020 had to happen?
Yes. Absolutely.
The pandemic was something that was pre-planned, and it had to happen to break everybody's
Absolutely.
The monotony, the routine of going to work.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
117%.
Psyop.
Pandemic.
Yeah. And,
Pandemic psyop on everybody's psyche.
and then just like I said, these,
But just think how many people woke up. How many?
So they had a plan. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to say, just think of how many people woke up that year. From March 17th, 2020, the whole world shut down. Like I had to take a whole year off work to take care of my son, Matthew Q. Well, I all of a sudden started learning things. I started going on YouTube and I found the Q drops. I found Janet Osgard's Fall of the Cabal. And here I am today, like 5+ years later. It's like, I'm a different person. I'm a different man because of this movement, because of the Great Awakening, because of the Q information, because of the camaraderie, the unity. I mean, that's not a. Now, if that was the Black Hats plan, they really screwed up. But now, the more I think about it, that was the White Hats, because you think about Trump's warp speed just threw it into overdrive. Boom, boom, boom. We've decoded that for years too. So anybody that thinks Trump is a bad guy because he brought in warp speed, I mean, the warp speed is the flow of information and us breaking down the projection and the propaganda from the fake news. And we're busting it into 1,000 pieces, like JFK said about the CIA back in 60 before he was assassinated. So it's a beautiful time to be alive.
Amen.
All right. Well, so Kyle, did you have another drop that you wanted to read?
Yeah, I'll do a drop here. Let's see. And to finish that thought too, the people working nonstop have no time, but then the phones came out and parents just hand their phone over to the kids, right? So, or even the idea of school, right? This education system where we send our kids off to strangers for 12 hours a day, and what are they actually learning? That's why. And then that was the plan to break up the nuclear family too. So people are going back to that, like homeschooling and again, community, local action to have global results and stuff too. But I got a short Q drop that Tim wanted me to do here, and then I'll do my favorite one, 2788 next. But here's Q drop 3662, December 7th. That was is that Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 2019. Knowledge is power. Think for your. Was that?
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. Jeez, Mel, I'm on the radio here. Okay. Okay.
Listeners, you can go to the Rumble channel and you can see their screens.
Yeah, you can actually. That's true. You can see what we got faces for radio though, so stand by.
Yeah, stand by.
Okay.
No, we joke. But knowledge is power. Think for yourself. Trust yourself. Do due diligence. You awake and thinking for yourself is their greatest fear. I'm going to say that one again. So only one line, but I'm going to repeat it. You awake and thinking for yourself is their greatest fear. Sheep no more, the Great Awakening Q. And that's why the movement was so attacked as much too, because it was a movement. And we joke, if we're in a cult, we're in the only cult that actually brainwashes you to think for yourself. And do
Good point.
Yeah, that's typically not something the cult leaders want you to do.
Right.
No.
Yeah, everything's protection. Go ahead, Kyle, if you want to do that other famous Q drop that you love so much.
We're at about 9 minutes.
Okay,
so,
yeah, and this one
get her done, bud.
Okay, yeah. And then go ahead, Mel.
I know that we wanted to answer the question, where did Q come from?
Yeah, okay. That's complicated too. So all right, so this one I'm gonna do a tiny bit of this other one. Q drop 4881, October 17th, 2020. This is the one then where finally, like Tim said, we set the trap with this QAnon phrase, but really there's no such thing as it come, and then we get, so now a lot of Anons kind of repeat this little thing here verbatim. But for Q drop 4881, there is Q1, there are Anons 2, there is no QAnon 3. Media labeling as QAnon is a method deliberate to combine and attach Q to comments, theories, suggestions, statements, and actions made by 2, which is the Anons. 2 is Anons. What happens when you cannot attack the information, primary source 1? Do you attack and typecast through use of others? Not all Anons are authentic. injected. So I say this quite a bit. When you can't attack the information, well, what does the media or anybody do? They attack the messenger. But that's why nobody'd ever seen this Q operation. So who is Q? There's not a person. There's this. So how can you attack them? So then the media, or we allowed this, we the white hats allowed this label of QAnon to be created. One, in the beginning, you could search the information quickly that way, but then it made the media attacking this fictitious entity known as QAnon. And none of us, again, there's no streamlined thing that says we all believe this. Everybody has their different beliefs, their different interpretations, which makes this also very unique. So when people say, oh, you just believe in QAnon, I'm like, what is QAnon? Just ask the question, and very quickly they'll be like, well, I really don't know. So that's how that kind of came about. So that's a good Q drop.
It's a beautiful trap. It was a beautiful trap. It really was.
Yeah. So then,
what's the meaning behind Q?
Where did that come from?
Military.
You understand my question?
Well, yeah, it's biblical too, because it's again, you can just peel the layer back more and more, right? So there's Q clearance patriot, and the first drops were just kind of based in like kind of group paragraph things, and then in Q drop 34, it talks about Q clearance patriot. Q clearance patriot is the highest. Some people discuss it. Is this real or not? One of my favorite shows, Archer. There's a scene there with the Q clearance they actually have. Also, y'all can look up what Q clearance is, because then the Q drop 48. Not as many people, the Anons mentioned Q drop 48, which talks about the Department of Energy. Right. So let me bring this one up for myself. Q drop 48. What is Q clearance? What hint does that explicitly refer to? DOE ? Which Department of Energy. Who would have the goods on uranium-1? Does stating Q refer that person works in the Department of Energy? Q says no. Does it refer that someone dropping such information has the highest level of security within all departments? Why is this relevant? So again, the questions kind of answer the other questions. So why is this relevant? You're assuming that means yes, it's highest classification of security. Now, Department of Energy folks would have a Q clearance to handle nuclear technology and things, but according to Q, it's like the highest classification. And then, but it goes more further, like biblically speaking, when the sperm penetrates the egg at the moment of conception, when that zinc spark explosion of life happens, actually creates a Q. And then there's the Gospel of Q, is a book, which that's not my expertise, but there's a Gospel of Q also too.
And then the 17th book of the Bible is the Book of Esther.
So I'm going to do 2788 real quick, because we got just a couple minutes, and it usually takes me a minute. Sorry to cut in here. Do you mind if I go, Mel?
No, go ahead.
Okay, this one explains everything, what Q is about and the movements, and I'm not going to have time to decode it. I'm going to just kind of go quick, but it explains itself. So Q drop 2788, my favorite one, February 18, 2019. How can an entity known only as Q, faceless, nameless, fameless, etc., begin to ask questions on 4chan, now 8chan, I would say now 8kuno, so that's not in the drop though, and build something of this magnitude? How can the same Q entity garner such a massive amount of worldwide mainstream media, fake news, attention, and attacks? How is it possible this Q entity can forecast future events or know when the POTUS is about to tweet? Those are the zero deltas. How is it possible future proves past regarding information provided? How is it possible this Q entity, an entity who began by merely asking questions on 4chan and 8chan, was able to ... fill in the blank? Think logically. People are craving truth. People are craving transparency. People are craving equal justice under the law. People are craving good. People are craving right. People are craving true freedom. And they're craving safety and security. People are craving ... fill in the blank. Proofs negate falsehood and conspiracy attacks. This is all the proofs that Q has had. So it's basically prevents those attacks. Those who attack have an agenda or remain plugged into the biggest disinformation campaign to be ever witnessed. And now this explains kind of the left side on things. Ask yourself, why are liberals always angry? Why do they curse? Why do they slander, push fake labels like racist, sexist, everything else? Why do they create emotional outbursts when challenged? Why are they violent? Why do they form mobs and packs? Why are they incapable of listening to the other side, which is what a fascist is? and here's the answer, when you don't have facts to support your arguments, aka present logical reasoning, you must resort to the above tactics. So my interjection here is saying, the media, statements not facts, statement not facts. They paint this narrative that's not based on factual information. So when you just simply ask them these questions, they don't have an answer, and their identity is already tied to their beliefs, so the ego reacts negatively. Okay, the rest of the cue drop. The narrative is designed to keep people in a constant state of fear, thereby forcing anger, rage, and violence. Emotionally unstable people are easier to control. That one I like reading twice, but I'll leave it there. I'm going to do it again. Emotionally unstable people are easier to control. They want you divided by race, divided by class, divided by religion, divided by political affiliation, divided as human beings. Divided you are weak, together you are strong. When you are strong, you think for yourself. When you are strong, you challenge what you are told to believe. When you are strong, you are awake. When you are strong, you are no longer controlled. Trust yourself. Trust that you are not alone. Trust that there are good people right beside you fighting for what we know to be right. God bless you all. Where we go one, we go all.
Hoorah! Let's go! Where we go one, we go all. Man, I love that drop.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for your time tonight. You always have an open mic here at the Nighthawk, in KSCO. So
Thank you.
We have 1 minute, 30 seconds. You guys take it out. Take it away. Plug your site. Give your handles. And thank you again, guys, for your time. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you. This
Thank you
is
for
fun.
having us.
Thanks, Ginni.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And my condolences to you and your family from the news that you broke at the beginning of your show. God bless you. We're all our prayer warriors out there are praying for you and your family for healing and safety and good thoughts and good vibes going forward. We thank you from all of us to all of you for bringing us on and allowing us to speak to your audience tonight. And hopefully we can, help a few others along the way. And not that we have all the answers, but we are working hard to get there. And we're going to do it together through unity. So God bless you all. God bless this radio channel. And we hope we can come back someday and meet again. God bless you. Melzie.
Amen. Find us on Rumble.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we so enjoyed it. And I hope that we helped answer some of your questions. And find us and I'll leave it up to Kyle.
Yeah, come find us. We'll answer any more of your questions too. Rumble.com. Just search Hammer Time. It's the long one. Hammer Time, Rapid Fire Q News, or I'm on X, Undercover White Hat. You'll find me there. All of our different platforms. We'll help answer your questions, help you guys figure out some of this Q stuff, and connect the dots and share the love and save the world.
That's right. Where we go one?
We go!
Thank you, guys.
Love, love, love. Did we go over? We might have went over. I don't know.
I don't know either, but it sounded good to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm still on there, so we'll give them a second to pop back in. Thanks everybody for watching us out on the channels there. Rumble, we got YouTube going, Facebook, X had a bunch of people again. There was a bunch of shows in the evening. We're at almost 300 people on X right now, so thank you guys for hanging in there.
Nice. Let me check Qschqql. I think there was a handful in there. That was fun, guys. I really enjoyed that. I think
we did pretty well for the limited time and having a bunch of people, as 5 of us kind of, and I think we navigated pretty well. Hopefully the audio sounded okay for you guys.
It was a little dicey. It was a little dicey, like screechy, scratchy, but you're coming through nice and clear. But Melzie was a little tinny. What did I sound like?
You sound good. And then, yeah, you were good. It's just because it was coming through my phone,
Maybe you shouldn't have called Melzie. She should have just stayed on. Like we should have just went right. Next time we do this, Melzie, you don't need the phone. Just do what we do normally on the show. Right. It probably would have sounded better.
Oh, maybe, and then maybe, or I could get on the Opal and stuff. We didn't have a lot of time to plan it.
No.
I think
You dialed in. We're using your phone as the speaker phone to the microphone. Melzie didn't need to call Melzie. She could have just came in like I did. Like, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think we need a 420. We need a 420
Well,
moment.
we didn't really know how that would work, though. I originally thought you guys would both have to be on Opal, and then it did work pretty well of you coming through the screen. So again, maybe we'll be on again. Who knows?
Yeah,
It
right
still
on.
shows us connected, so I'm still gonna keep this open here.
Okay. Just in case they come on to say hello, yeah. But safety meeting time. What do you guys say out there, brothers
Oh,
and sisters?
that's an idea.
Safety meeting. let's let the gas out of the tank here. Let's go safety meeting mode right now. And is there any questions in our Rumble channel? Anybody have any questions? Anything? You're getting beautiful comments, by the way. Beautiful. Look at the comments.
Cindy's asking what an opal
What's an Opal?
Melzie,
Cindy's
get
the
up.
question master. I love it, Cindy.
Melzie, hang up the phone. Hang up your phone and come on live here on Rumble because you sound like a tip.
You might disconnect this though, but
why would that? Well, you're the one that called in, aren't you?
But I three-wayed with Mel.
Mm.
Give it a shot, Mel. Let's see what happens.
Give it a shot.
I guess she did. She just hung up on me, that bitch. We still. Oh, it's an hour 44 just now. 1:44 on the call with the radio just then.
Wow. What'd you think, Kyle? How'd you feel? You did great, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I think had great questions. I think we got some good information out to people, especially if they're new to it, or hopefully connect the dots. The couple QPOs we read are really strong. You know what I mean? Again, the key ones too. They want you divided. You know, they don't want you thinking for yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's what Kelly was asking too, and what I was trying to get you to go towards, like at the beginning when she said, "I used to follow Q, but when then Biden won." I had enough, but you always had a good answer for that because remember, and I was thinking to myself, that hits a Delta today. That hit that Ukrainian Delta today. You had to go back.
And the guy, did you see that? The guy dropped it, Tim.
Yes, I saw that.
He even said Q dropped 4822 is 5-year Delta today. He said, I mean, it's crazy. This Russian envoy guy. I guess I can share my screen.
I think he's watching Qschqql, man. There's no other way to put it.
Why wouldn't he be like the rest of the crew here? What's his? I have to be following.
Well, think about the tarmac meeting in Alaska that day, and think about what he dropped the other day about Russia, China, and others. Right? Think about it.
Yep.
I mean,
yep. Look at this, guys. He is watching Qschqql because we showed just fucking Biden's speech right here. Look at this. Shadow of Vladimir Putin's close ally.
Make it big on the screen. Make it big. I can't see it. Make it big.
Oh, make it this way, Mel.
There you go.
Okay, and I'll zoom in even more.
This guy's watching Qschqql, man. This Russian guy.
Yep. So he actually, so look at he's dropped this already. So that was earlier. So let me find his original drop, and then he shared it again though, just as a confirmation. And then now he responded here. This is gonna be interesting. Let me go back just a minute. He's reposting General Flynn. Oh, look at he reposted General Flynn with this. Tim, we showed this on the show. This declassification here about Biden and Ukraine. He's retweeting Liz Cronkin. Where's the one? His post with the Biden provoked the war in Ukraine to cover up his family's corruption. The truth is coming out. Breaking CIA just declassified documents. We showed that on Qschqql. Interesting timing. Here he's showing a Q drop again. What happens if Biden became POTUS? I swear he mentions about it. There it is right here. He responded to himself. Drop number
48822
was published on this day exactly 5 years ago. And he keeps putting the little rabbit on there. Follow the white rabbit. That's what even Elon Musk said. So now somebody put the whole graphic together and then he responded to it, which was from our show. So Shadow of Ezra. Some people think this is Ezra Cohen. I'm not sure. Watnick, I'm not sure if I believe that. We'll see though. And then so Shadow of Ezra said Vladimir Putin's close ally Kirill Dmitriev has pointed to Q drop number 48822, a post from 5 years ago that revealed bribes taken by Joe Biden's family connected to Ukraine. The drop matches today's uncovered CIA intelligence showing the intelligence community knew Biden was involved in business corruption in Ukraine. The evidence exposes a massive double standard and a coordinated cover-up. Today is also Vladimir Putin's birthday. So here's the bit we played earlier.
And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to the press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Got fired. And they
here's the part 2. And they put in a guy who's solid, AKA on our blackmail team or on, in our pocket.
Put in place someone who was solid.
Why does he touch him?
Well,
yeah, it is interesting. Well, because he touches everybody. He's a big creep. But yeah, great point there. And then everything we covered there, arrogance, right?
But it's like you put in someone solid, like you were a part of it. That was just my thought.
Oh, good point, Mel. Though again, think about the blackmail thing too, right? Like we got you too, or something like that. Like he's solid because he's or he was with us last night.
And then you see his look. He's kind of like, huh?
Yeah,
a little bit.
So anyway,
what part of the We Are the News don't you understand now? Like, come on, man. I mean, we're hitting all these comms, all these like just boom, boom, boom after another. That's crazy. I saw that come out. I saw that come out right after Qschqql, and I went, "Are you kidding?" I'm just shaking my head, going, "Ooh."
So it's been 5 minutes. I don't see them back. Is that rude if I hang up? I'm guessing
think they're done with us. Yeah,
they're done with us. There's enough of those Q-tards. Love you guys. Thank you. That was fun, guys.
But they're probably like, okay, they're we're
Yeah, no, that was nice of them. I'll send her a nice message back through via email how I connected with her originally, and Lightworker, if you're listening, God bless you, sister. Thanks for making the original connection. It was live on Telegram. It was on. I'm trying to remember that night what channel we were on. I don't know if it was Cat's Crazy Corner or Boots or I can't remember. I can't remember the channel, but anyway, Lightworker just picked up the phone and all of a sudden she started talking about like you guys should go on this radio show. I think it was her brother. I think she mentioned her brother. I think they're connected. I think like siblings.
And then they called, huh?
Yeah, and all of a sudden he's on the phone and she put the phone up to the microphone and I'm saying hi to Greg. His name is Greg, right? So I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to do it. Me, Melzie, and Kyle. I said we're rocking and rolling right now, and we've got a lot of great information and high vibes to share with everybody. And I think it would be a good fit for your show. So whatever you decide, and all of a sudden, I start getting emails back and forth between Kelly and I, and she gave us the dates, and the one date that came up was 10/7. The 10th month, the 7th day. I said, okay. Kyle said, oh my God, that's a 17. I go, wow.
I think she's a secret Q-tard.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She said she was following from the beginning. She was playing dumb for sure. Yeah.
She had great questions. Both of them did. And I think that it is something that people are wondering because they've heard QAnon, but then when they hear QAnon, like you said, they don't know anything more about what that means. Like, where do you sign up for QAnon and what are we really about? So Q knew that too, that they were going to go after Q and QAnon. And so I think that in the beginning, we were all QAnon, right? We had hashtag QAnon. So they set up hashtags so that people would be able to kind of go and find the truth.
Absolutely. You could find it. You could post about it. Hashtag QAnon all the time. And this is a show. We actually did this on our very first Qschqql. Let me bring it up real quick, live, real time for y'all, since we're all here. We're in overtime. We're in overtime here. If you the best way to search, I think it's QDrop2598. But let me just search. You put this little guy, and then a QA, then that little guy, and here's the drop on December 12th, 2018. The Hammer Time drop.
Hammer Time.
It's Qdrop2598. There it is. And Hammer Time drop this Anon, quote unquote Anon, December 12th, 2018, 13:01:05. And Q responded 170 seconds later too. 2 minutes 50 seconds. There's Trump, or excuse me, I said Trump. Santa with the hammer, and looks like a JR embroidered in there, and then it says QA with a colon, or QAI, perhaps, is an interesting thing too to think about. And what's this up here? Is that like a candy cane or something?
Yeah, what is that?
I think it's a candy cane, but it's odd. And the way that the image zooms, you have to look at it on your own there. If y'all should know where to find Q drops, go find this QDrop2598. But look at the image name. Image name is Hammer Time. And I think we did this on our very first daytime Qschqql on Hammer Time, officially on Rumble. It was this one. And this was also the same day that Melania Trump had the Christmas decorations too. Santa with a hammer, signed by QA. This Christmas we want justice. And then Q responds, confirmed. QA, QAnon. I don't know if you'd say is, but QA to meaning QAnon. And then hammer, more to find over time. Happy hunting. So it's one of the only times where Q, we would say confirmed QAnon in a way, but so many people reference the Q drop 4881, of course, and say there's no such thing as QAnon. But Tim always said, oh, that was actually the trap. So, and here's the drop as well. And this is connected to Junior as well, if you're in that decoding that whole topic, because what's her name? Spacing the name that would do the big deep dives on that was the one that helped me find that QAnon thing, and it connects somehow to Junior on her decode. Kellyanne Hub News, that's what it is. Kellyanne Hub News was the one that did that decode.
There you go. That was good. I love that one.
Yeah, it's Hammer Time. How do you not love it? It's near the image name is Hammer Time, man. Hammer Time. Hello.
You can't make this up. You can't make it up, Melzie. You started the Hammer Time way back in the days, and then you set up your platform here, the Restream platform, for us to do these live Qschqls. 2 years later, here we are, rocking and rolling.
On a radio show, too.
Tonight on a radio show, yeah. I mean,
Manifestation.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the power that you're propelling into this environment, sister, is super duper extraordinaire. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, we all have a piece, and like I think we all have different skills, and this is kind of my skill set, and
we blend together perfectly, nicely.
We all do. We work well together. We had years of practice, really, to get to this point.
And it's cool, this community we have of people too. I mean, we always kind of had the community on Qschqql and Telegram, Tim, but it was small, and it's growing here on Rumble with more people in the chat. They're like their own community over there. I do read the comments after the shows, guys. And I'd like to maybe in the future, maybe talk about with Tim and stuff. I'd love maybe somebody to be on the back end here to like read some of the comments when they come up. Like if somebody has a question for me, or if I ask for a dig, because Mel's also doing the gadgets and the graphics that she can't really read the comments. I can't read them while we're doing the show. So maybe an extra person in the background that would just want to pay attention to the board and let us know. But I have a formal request, Cindy. Can we not call BS Country Girl BS anymore? Can you make up your own nickname that's something different than BS? I have a formal request from White Hat here that we not say. It says BS. I agree. I wish I could get through to some very close people. She's responding to Brittany, our country girl. And by saying BS, you need a new nickname for her, Cindy. So y'all decide what you want to call it, or I'll make one for you guys if you don't. If you don't have a nickname by tomorrow, I got a nickname for our country gal, Brittany, by the way. Thank you again for supporting the show a while back. We love you guys.
Yeah, it's all love here. Yeah, for sure. So I don't know if you guys want to wrap it up or not. I'm actually looking forward to going to the Telegram chats.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I got a headache. Let's hop off here so we can. I got to get out of the house here to safety meeting and get on the Telegram. Sounds wonderful. But thanks for having fun with us tonight, guys.
All right.
Yeah,
y'all know where to find us. Where are we gonna be? Let's see what chat's open over there. Let's let people know at least where we're gonna be.
Right now, Spy Balloon is open, and
Cats.
Cats and Freedom for All. Freedom for All is open. That's Army Mom.
Let's go to Cats. She called in on the show, and
why don't we each go into a different channel to start? So you pick Melzie. You're ladies for gentlemen. You pick one. You pick a channel. You go say hi. Then
I think I'll go to Cats.
Okay, you go to Cats. So between Spy Balloon, Kyle's perfect for Spy Balloon. I'll go to
Spy. I'll go to Spy.
All right. Perfect. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, Army Mom, I said hi, though.
I will. Yeah, I'll tell them what we did. We spread out Qschqql a little bit tonight. We'll just check in on everybody, make sure everybody had a good time, if they enjoyed it and watched it. If they didn't, the recording's available on Hammer Time Rapid Fire Q News.
Rapid Fire Q News.
Yeah. So tomorrow, same time, same place. Tomorrow,
we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back for more.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's the perp block, KOMY perp block.
Oh, we got some exciting things. We don't know what time. And I'd heard he hasn't been seen for like weeks. I was telling you, I thought he was supposed to turn himself in. People said he hasn't been seen.
Well, tomorrow's arraignment day, and Kash Patel, FBI, and them have been building this.
I wonder if he's going to be there, though. We should make some bets on it. Wouldn't that be wild if he disappears? That would cause all kinds of interesting. That would just put so many more eyes on it if he all of a sudden jumps ship.
Yeah. And then don't forget the day after is Hillary Clinton. Hillary's going to be in the House.
Closed door stuff, right? Closed door. So we don't even get the transcripts you said on that either?
No. All they're doing, that's investigative stuff. That's behind the scenes stuff. What they're doing is logging they're documenting everything, putting all their, what do they call it? The Qs, the T's and Qs, the P's and Qs.
The P's and Qs. Just a Q, minded my P's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, I had fun tonight. I really enjoyed it. I was a little nervous, to be honest with you, but I think it went really well. You guys, both of you handled yourselves perfectly, professionally. And I think their audience, we'll get some feedback. I'm going to ask Kelly, how did it go? What did your audience think? And because they even honestly admitted at the beginning, they never had any Q-tards on their show before. And also what I'm going to mention to Kelly is that both of you are interested in coming back on the show, talking about the deeper level topics that they love to talk about, right?
Right.
And I think you guys are well versed in that. So
and tell her if they want, they could come on our show sometime too. So
I'll put the invite out too. That'd be nice to have the two of them come on.
Just see their faces maybe and stuff. Too. Yeah.
Okay. Love everybody. Where we go?
We go all. Mel didn't know what was going on there. Come on over to Telegram. We're gonna be hanging out, guys. Come on over. Y'all know the deal. Come find us over there. Love. See you guys.
Love. Bye, guys.
Closing it out, Mel. You got it.
I'm working. There we go. Here.
Oh, look at that graphic.
All right. And sorry.
Qschqql. Love.